Bam, we're live. Good morning. 5 minutes early today. Heidi, good morning. Eric, good morning. Kenneth, good morning. Travis from Vindicate, good morning. Chase, Brian, good morning. As all of you already know, go to cahormones.com. If you live in California, you can get free blood work and a free doctor's consultation if you use the code word Sevan. If you live out of California, get your blood work, have your insurance pay for it. Send that blood work over to cahormones.com. Use the code word Sevan, and you can get your free doctor's consultation. Good morning, Alan. Buenos dias, senor. We're starting a few minutes early this morning. We are going to start the morning again with Jason Grubb and Jamie Latimer. Forgot my pen. Also, you can go over to Paper Street Coffee. They have supported the show from the beginning. It's the only coffee I drink. You guys know the story. It's a cool story, our relationship. Crystal Baca, good morning. Austin Hartman, good morning. And the way it worked with Paper Street Coffee is you use the code word Sevan and you get 10% off. And Gabe is a great guy. And he is a small business that has just started up inside this community. He is a diehard CrossFitter and an incredible supporter of this podcast. And he told me from the beginning, I don't even care if you drink my coffee, Sevan. I just want to support the podcast. Dang, Jamie did get second. You are looking at a lady, by the way. We're going to get to why she's on the screen in just 1 second. Her name is Anne Marie Fuss, Feuss. Fuck it, make it 15%. Holy cow, make it 15%. I don't know how long that's going to last. Go to Paper Street Coffee. Don't spell out street. It's Paperst coffee. Use code word Sevan and get 15% off. I suspect that won't last much longer than midnight tonight. Paper Street is ridiculous. Is delicious. Yes, it's delicious and ridiculous. It's very strong. It is very strong. Beautiful little brown beans that you'll like to look at and smell. Also, if you sign up for California Hormones between now and December 24th or 23rd, either way, I don't know what the date is, but on the 25th, on Christmas morning, we will give away a free level 1 courtesy of California Hormones, a level 1 to a CrossFit level 1 seminar, because there's really not too many things better you can do for your life. Gabe is the man, Eric. That's right. Elise Carredao. Good morning. Paper Street is so dang good. Best coffee in the game, Vindicate. If you want to get a CEO shirt that fits very nicely, makes even your mediocre bodies look good. I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I got a nice body. You go over to Vindicate, VNDK8.com, pick out a shirt. You can also go to Life is RX. The sweatshirts are thick and yummy and good, and I wear them every single day. That is truth. Even on the hottest days, I wear them. I work out in them. I usually do my first 20 minutes of workout always in long sleeves to get extra hot because I'm fitty. I need to get sweaty. Jeez Louise. So Brittney Griner's family must be ecstatic. They got her home. Imagine your daughter being kidnapped. Imagine your daughter breaking the law for drug use in a foreign country and going to jail and getting sentenced for 9 years. That would really suck. And she got to come home, and her family must be ecstatic. So happy. So happy. I don't know how George Floyd's parents feel. Probably devastated. Their son got caught up in drugs and violence. He hurt a lot of innocent people. He did a home invasion, put a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach. He drove around on the streets where little boys and girls in this country play, high on drugs. He's been accused often of, being involved with counterfeiting money. He did a lot of pornography. You can go to YouTube and watch it. And it's sad that he died because he's someone's son. It's sad that he lived that life. No one wants to be a drug addict. It sucks. Just like no one wants to get arrested and taken away by the Russians, regardless of what you did. You don't want that to happen to your daughter. But those are not national heroes I'm describing to you. Those are just people. Those are just souls. I know a lot of you are Christians out there. I know a lot of you believe love is the way. And those are just people who went down a wrong path and couldn't pull out. But they are not American heroes. They're not heroes of the planet. They're not role models. They're people who lived a life who their circumstances probably hurt a lot of people around them. And I'm really happy for Brittney's family that they got her back. Exceedingly happy. But I do want to show you a real American hero. I don't even know who this is. Never met her before. Don't know shit about her. Her name is Anne Marie Fuse. And you're looking at her right there. ANNMAREEFEUSS. If you want to show your support for this country, if you want to show a real American hero, you want to show someone who's done something amazing, go over to this lady's Instagram account and say something positive about her. I talk a lot about how great dads are and how important it is to have a good dad. This lady right here that you're looking at, look at her. Look at her, a muscle up. I bet you she's doing this for herself. She's making herself fit. So she's not a drag on the rest of the world. So she's an inspiration to other people. She's taking care of herself. But this is why she's a hero. I'm going to show you right here. Not because she pushes a shitty torque tank. No one's perfect. But because she's a mom. I came across this account this morning. This is someone's mom. This is higher level hero shit. Those two kids are so proud, and what their mom is doing is going to change their life forever. They're going to remember their mom as someone who took control of her own life, who made her life better. Don't even know who she is. I can just tell. That's got to be her dad there, right? That can't be her husband. He can't be that lucky. 2 kids, lady who works her butt off, shows up at competitions and gets at it. I think she was at the Legends comp. I just ran across her account because I've been fooling around so much with the Legends, looking at Jason and Jamie's accounts. And so the search gave me this lady. But this is someone who's really contributing to America. This is someone who deserves a statue in Central Park. This is what makes me happy. This is what should make all of us happy. This is someone who's a high-level contributor to society, and she's not playing basketball. All she's doing is taking care of herself and being a good role model for her kids. I wanted to share that with you guys this morning. If you want to do something really cool today, you want to feel better about yourself, go over to her account. It's ANNMAREE1008 and tell her thank you for her contribution to the role model that she is for everyone around her, her husband, her kids, and everyone. What a cool lady. And she's hot. It's just a plus. It's always nice. Maybe she wasn't hot before she did CrossFit. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, guys.
Hey, man.
Jason, Jamie's trying to steal the show from you. He's trying to steal the show from you. Look at this. The second place. You're a boss. How stoked are you, Jamie?
I'm really happy.
Are you like beside yourself?
Yeah, I totally shocked myself. Yeah.
You went into yesterday when we talked to you, you were in 3rd place and Jason was in 2nd place. And basically you were starting to feel the pressure, I think we could say, yesterday from your interview. And how many competitions have you done?
Let's see. I don't know, like 6. I did Granite Games in 2019. I've done Masters Fitness Collective twice, Legends now twice. And I've done a lot of local comps, so I guess a lot, but nothing big, like 5 big ones.
Congratulations, Amy, from Allison. Yeah, crazy. And this was, you would say this is some of the highest level competition you've ever gone against?
I would say so. I mean, last year was really strong competition too, but yeah, I would say it's probably the strongest. And
you went in, and there were 2 events yesterday, correct?
Yeah, a back-to-back 2-parter.
And you were how many points behind 2nd place? 30?
I think like 42.
42 points. Who's counting?
I wasn't. I didn't. I just, like I told you, I just didn't want to implode and not get third. So that's all I was worried about. Like, finish the workout and stay in third.
And what place were you in after you did the first workout yesterday, the second to last workout?
I was 12 points out of second.
Wow. And then how many points did you beat the second place lady by in the final workout? Do you know?
I think 10. Or beat her in the, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think the final standings was I was 10 points above. So about 20 points in the final workout.
Crazy. Did you see her during the comp? Like in that final heat, did you know where she was?
Not really. Although I think I knew I was like in like top 2 or 3 of that heat. So I felt like I was, and I love handstand push-ups. Like that wasn't the one I was that nervous about. It was the front squats.
How old are you?
39.
So you're in the 35 to 39 category. You're the old lady in the bunch. Jason, should she have been watching her? Or are you like, Jamie, you should have been watching her? Tell her, Jason. Let the CrossFit Games chance. Yes. Give her some
Absolutely.
advice.
Absolutely. Yeah, nice job. I mean, at 39, when I'm 49, if I can hang in there with these guys, I'll be absolutely ecstatic. So that's just amazing.
Yeah. Congratulations. What's next for you, Jamie? What do you do next? Will you immediately just start? Is the Open next for you?
Yeah, I mean, I had kind of told myself that I was going to spend this year trying to get stronger. Strength is like my biggest weakness, like especially like the snatch. And I really feel like, I mean, going into this, I was like, I don't really have a shot, and I don't have a shot at the games this year. So I was going to spend this year getting strong so that when I'm 40, I can try to really make a run of it. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll just go through the Open like normal, see how it goes.
Awesome. But games aspirations?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like real, like serious, like you're going to go, this is it. Yeah. You're awesome. Jason, how did you finish?
I won first place.
How close was it?
It was really close. Jason, the other Jason, he was 4 points ahead of me going into the last 2 events. And I had to beat him in both events. Just the way the points were. Let's say I win event 1 and then he wins event 2, he wins. So I really just needed to beat him in both, or just win both events, which I did. I won both events. There was a point in there as I was jumping into the bar muscle ups and the front squats. I saw him cycle front squats during warm up, and I realized I can't beat that. And I was nervous. I can't beat that. So my strategy, my focus was really fast transitions, running from the bar to bar muscle ups and not taking any breaks, just absolute all out effort. And I knew I could do that. It just I might catch on fire. Like I may actually implode at some point. But at a certain point, he realized on the front squats, I got him. And so I got through that first one, and I thought he might be fast on the sandbags. And Andy Sakamoto in the commentary or in a live stream thought the same thing. They thought, even if I win the first one, the other Jason could catch me on those sandbags. And if he beats me, he wins. So I tore it up. I went all out on that thing. On the second set of handstand push-ups, he broke. And that was it. I was running to the sandbag at that point. I was smiling at my cheering section just in front of me because I knew, like, that's it. I've got it. And that's a damn good feeling, Sevan, when it hits. Like, okay, I'm in the middle of this thing. It's pure chaos around you, but I got this. All I have to do is pick this sandbag up a bunch of times and not let him catch me. It was battle. It's absolute battle, like primal. My body was able to do things that, or I was able to recruit more from my body than I could ever have imagined in 8 minutes without feeling a thing. I mean, almost blackout. Like I remember gasping for oxygen, but I don't remember feeling anything. Like feeling anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So basically you knew you were going to have to flirt with disaster. You were like, okay, I'm not going to,
Yes.
although you did have a strategy, your strategy was to it was okay. If the wheels came off the bus, I can go home knowing I gave it my all. It's kind of a weird strategy, right?
It is a weird strategy, and it's so fast. It's such a short max effort. And it was, if I'm going to ride the lightning, I'm going to ride right on that line. And if I fall off, my mistake, but I'm not. And for me, if I just imploded, I was almost guaranteed second place. So it was sell out or take second and fall off and take second. That's okay. So I took the sell it route, and man, it was nice. The feeling of winning that, having been so, for me, this doesn't matter in the whole scheme of the world in any way whatsoever. But for 4 days, I can be nervous. I can be stressed. My Garmin tracks my stress level. It was through the roof for 4 days, beyond anything, beyond the games actually, because this was just so tight, and my competition was so relentless that on the last day, as I was driving to Mayhem, I remember just thinking to myself, I was trying to get my head in the right place because I was pretty nervous in the morning. Because I'm going to win. I'm going to Mayhem to seal this deal, and I was just dead focused, and my body did what it needed to do. And I'm so sore today. I can't tell you. I actually came to Mayhem this morning to help unpack, and they're putting the gym back together, just so that I could move and get some blood flow. So I actually feel much better now than I did 2 hours ago.
This guy, Jason Lukanen.
Yeah.
Lukanen. Jason Lukanen. Are you pretty stoked he was there? Like, would you in hindsight, you're like, I'm glad I went into the last day in second place. This, it was kind of like getting another free kind of experience to test yourself, right? Like, he put you in a place that you didn't want to be, that you can't get in training, and you got to have to deal with that.
Very much. I could not go into the last day, which I'm used to going into a last day for a final victory lap. I've done that a few times at the games and at Legends, where by the last day I just wake up, I have a nice breakfast, it's nice and easy because I don't have pressure. And he applied max pressure. So having him here was great. I thought my competitors were, Mike Kern and Vlad. That's who I was competing with at the games. This was all that. But Jason came and just circumvented those guys, came at it full force. He had some of the workouts were definitely favored a very fast athlete. A lot of short workouts, super high intensity, and he is just unbeatable in a couple of those events. So to have that pressure, to experience that, I mean, it adds another rep of experience to my resume, which I really appreciate. I appreciate more having won it. I don't know how I would feel if I was sitting here in having gotten second place. I'd have a different demeanor, a different feel. I'd be trying to learn from it and keep a positive attitude, but I would have been pretty disappointed in myself, just reevaluating the Monday morning coach or whatever they call that, where just thinking, what could I have done? What could I have done? What mistakes did I make in my training? I would have overdone all of that. Now I'm just going to take some of the experience of what was that like to have someone that I couldn't catch? I've got to process that in my head for when it comes to the open, quarters, semis, and the games this year, because that's just going to happen more and more as I age up in this age group. So yes, to answer your question, good reps got done this weekend in that fashion, the mental fashion.
Yeah, good training for you. Jamie, I'm guessing when you go into the final day in third place, I'm guessing, and tell me if I'm wrong, you can't help but instead of being focused on winning, it creeps in that oh shit, I don't want to fall to fourth. And how surprised not surprised, maybe the word is proud. How proud are you of yourself that not only did you not fall to fourth, but you were able to even push further and get in a second? What are some of the things people are saying around you? Do people around you believe in you more than you believe in yourself? You're so soft-spoken.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I mostly have to train by myself, and you're just always questioned. Of course people in my gym are you're so fit. You're the fittest person I know. Well, yeah, and you don't know how fit these people are. And like, I do, because and especially like I went to the games with Jim, my 65-year-old athlete. So like, I'm constantly seeing these like top level athletes. So it's like, you just don't know. You don't know your fitness until you get to like be on the floor with some of these people. So yeah, I definitely shocked myself. I know I'm good at CrossFit, and so like it was a really good weekend to test some of my strengths with some of my weaknesses, and because almost every workout was paired with both, and so I didn't have a finish lower than 7th, so I feel like I'm fairly well rounded. I mean, if we would have seen a 1 rep max pop up, I probably would have gotten like 25th. So thank goodness. But I guess I'm more well rounded than I thought.
Do you leverage that uncertainty? Do you think it's good for you, or do you think that it would be better if you switch your mindset? Meaning, maybe you use that sort of insecurity is not the perfect word, but do you think you leverage that to be better and to try harder? Or do you think it would be better if you went in thinking, hey, I'm going to kill all these women?
Yeah, I don't know if it would be great if I went in confident. So I feel like with the rope climb one, I felt pretty confident in that workout. And I think I overpaced the rope climbs. So that's where, yeah, I think that's that. I mean, and I lost that by 2 wall balls. And I went unbroken for over a minute in the last. I mean, I threw like, I don't know if you ended up watching that one, but like I was gaining at the end. If it would have been 10 seconds longer, I probably would have caught her in the end. But so I don't know. I just think I overpay. I think when I'm confident, same with the total bar workout, I was confident in that workout. And I told them, I was like, I'm sick of like having to push to past like 100%. Like I want one that's good for me that I can just coast in. And that one I did, like my husband's on the video, like, you got to run to the transitions. Like, and I'm like, nah, I'm just walking between transitions, staying calm. So it's probably better when I'm unsure of myself and make myself get even more out of my comfort zone.
Jason, for those of us who don't know, like myself, how is Masters programming? Is there anything different about it than regular programming other than reps and weight? Or is there other things that the programmers need to be cognizant of?
It's a good question. So it is reps and weight, overall volume. So yes, reps and weight and rounds. So think of that as well in that volume. An appropriate amount of volume for a master's athlete is going to be less than your 25-year-old athletes. And I've really noticed that, having spent a couple of months here at Mayhem training with 20-year-old games athletes. We have similar programming. My reps and my volume is a little less than theirs. And the temptation for me is to just, if I'm working out with them, I'll just do what they're doing. And I've done that a few times. And I've discovered it's not better. And I know it's not better. But I'm like, I'll be fine. No, it's the volume is intense. But what I think programmers don't take into account for master's athletes, and I think it becomes more and more and more important into our late 30s, 40s, and 50s, is the elements of recovery, the emphasis of mobility and warm up, and how important that is. We all know that, but it's not programmed generally. It's not programmed like, okay, tonight, let's do a recovery hot therapy in some form or fashion. Or I think what I pay attention to the most, in addition to what's on the list of things I need to accomplish today, is how to take care of my body so that I can continue at as much volume as I should be doing as a master, no more than that. But even with that volume, it's a lot of volume. So I have nutrition, sleep, recovery are huge elements for me. And when I calculate, how much time do I spend training, I include, the 40 minutes a day I spend on recovery, the 30 minutes a day I spend on a first warm up before I start warming up for the workout. Does that make sense? Those are huge factors, right?
What about movements? Jamie and Jason, there was that event in the games that one year where the masters athletes were blowing their bicep tendons because the bar was too thick. They were using that axle bar. But I always wonder about stuff like as you get older, I don't know, I'm just making this up, like ring dips. Are there certain movements too that like significantly become more difficult as you become older? Like running may not be one of them, right? But there might be some sort of movements in some those are some pretty crazy ranges of motion, ring dips, where you can get really low, or muscle ups. Is there anything like that? Any movements that you have to be like, okay, I need to make sure I double down on the warm up for these movements?
Yes, I'll jump in there. Yes, absolutely. Any kind of Olympic lifting or high skill gymnastics or anything, we've got to spend a very decent amount making sure we're really warm for. But no, in particular, heavy lifting, high skill movements and Olympic lifting. But I also think that no, we should be able to do any of the movements well into our 60s. Maybe 65 plus, they're doing burpee bar muscle ups. I don't know, or burpee pull ups instead of bar muscle ups. But I don't know, Jamie, I'll let you chime in for sure and I'll stop. But I want to see us doing all the movements at appropriate weights. But as far as skills and gymnastics, I want to see us be doing that well into our 60s.
Handstand walk at 65, yes. 65 to and up.
Absolutely. I think.
You're a good dude. Yeah, no one can say different if you think that. Jamie, any where are you compared to what Jason's saying here?
I
By the way, you're a young girl compared to Jason. So
I know. I think I'm 22 all the time. So, I think currently I think there's kind of no business for them to be like 65 plus to be programming handstand walk or muscle ups or pistols. But I do think in the next probably 5 years, so like the 60-year-olds now, when they get to be 65, I do think some of those people will maintain those skills that they have. But I think they need, I don't know, like right now when they program it, I just shake my head and I'm like, this isn't highlighting their fitness. Half of them look silly out there. And I'd say that I have a 66-year-old that went to the games, and there's just times where I'm like, I don't think that was an appropriate programming piece. But
so yeah, you're saying the opposite way of kind of the way my question was biased, is that maybe we should take it easier. What you're saying is like, hey, just because they can't, you don't have to dumb it down. There's other ways you can change the program besides dumbing it down. You're saying that it feels almost like dumbed down. Like, hey, if they can't do 100 pistols in a row, still give them some pistols. Let them showcase their skills. So,
yeah, I mean, I feel like it sucks for someone like Hip and Steel who certain movements has the skill. There's like at Masters Fitness Collective, they had the option to bear crawl or handstand walk. And I think if somebody has the skill, and if they choose to do it, they should be rewarded for that.
Wait a second. You're saying someone doing bear crawl competes against someone who does handstand walk? That's fucking insane. That's insane.
Agreed. Yeah, and of course the bear crawler is going to win. So I think the only way to progress the sport is if you want to push those people to start earning those movements, is to reward like automatically. If you handstand walk and you get the distance that was the requirement, like if you only get 5 feet, then you didn't meet it. That you just took a risk that you didn't make. But if you can walk the whole 25 feet, even if that's 5 foot increments, I think you should beat the person who bear crawled. That's going to push the people to keep learning those skills and maintain them through their 60s, so that when they get 65, they have them. So that's how I feel.
And you could fix the programming. Let's say you wanted handstand walks in there, but you knew only half the field could do it. So what you could do is you could put, 3 rope climbs, 50 cals on the Echo bike, and then max handstand walk for the remaining minute. And then the winners determined there. Everyone gets to work out, but some people are just screwed. And instead of making them do it unbroken, you could just have the judge there. So people who could only walk 5 feet at a time, you could just keep putting them back, 5 feet instead of 25 feet. Yeah, it seems right. I totally agree with you. There seems a way to do it. That's what you said to me is just crazy. That doesn't even make any sense to have people competing again. I mean, even if you could do handstand walk, why would you? If you could
Agreed. Well, people chose to because they want to show that skill, but they finished lower, and I was like, that's silly.
Yeah, that doesn't make that. At that point, you're not doing a competition. Now you're at the Special Olympics. And that's not a dig. It just is. Just is.
Well,
Well,
I think that idea about doing more high skill movements, Jamie, I like your point that right now, 65-year-olds maybe shouldn't be doing a decent volume of ring muscle ups, or maybe they shouldn't do ring muscle ups. And I think I agree with that, right? Because it does look silly. We want movement to look good. We want to showcase 65-year-olds doing amazing things. And I think the other part of that, and I think you are kind of hinting at this, is that in 20 years, 65-year-olds will probably be doing pretty clean muscle ups, or that the skill level will be that. It's like over the last 10 years, we're doing what individuals did 10 years ago, and we're in our 40s or we're in our late 30s, right? And so this sport evolves, and we all get a bit better at this whole thing. We get smarter, we get better at movement. We're more safe when we move. So I'll revise what I said earlier. Like, yes, I want to see all the skills when we're all ready to do all the skills. So we're making sure we're all ready to do all the skills, and not make we want to highlight masters and our achievements and our strengths and what we can do, not be silly and not look appropriate when we're doing it, or look like we're putting ourselves in huge amounts of danger. Right? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, congratulations to the both of you. Thanks for doing this every day. It's the most interested I've ever been in a Masters comp. I'm stoked for you. I give all the credit for Jason for last time he was on, or for DMing me and nudging me. And I hope to continue to build a relationship with both of you guys and keep having you guys on and talk about it. More important, I'm realizing the importance of it, the inspiration that you guys bring to the world. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, Sevan. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, love you guys. Bye, Jamie. I'll see you around. See you on the internet. All right.
Thank you.
Jason, you're a great dude. You're a great ambassador for the sport. Such a positive man. It's always a pleasure interacting with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Ciao.
Bye.
Thank you, Jamie's husband, for parking the car and hanging out.
Bye.
We cut into his shaving time. All righty. Where's Caleb? Where's Matt Souza? Where's Caleb? Where's Matt Souza? How am I supposed to do a show without those guys? Just me today? Just me today? Came shot out of a cannon today. I'm ready to rock and roll. Okay, number 317. We talked about that, right? About that Anna Marie lady. I have this, for some of you who've seen on Instagram, I haven't posted in a long time, but in my backyard, I have this huge rig made out of wood. It's made out of 16-foot 6x6 pieces of lumber, and it's huge, and it has monkey bars, and it has loads of rope climbs dangling from it and rings. It's pretty massive. I want to say it's probably 30 feet long. It was quite the ordeal to build this thing, and it's massive. And one of the things I wanted on that rig that I still don't have today was a climbing pole. I don't know if you guys had those poles in elementary school, but I remember this was probably 1978. My elementary school had a skinny steel pole, and it went really high, and it attached to there were 4 of them. It was basically a pole in the middle with a cross on the top, and then 4 climbing poles down the side. And the climbing poles were attached to the ground with a little chain, and to the top to a little chain. So they moved just a little bit. And the reason why I never got a climbing pole at my house is all the climbing poles, all the poles that I found that would be, 13 or 14 feet tall were all galvanized. And I did a little research, and you don't want to climb a galvanized pole. I guess there's something on there that's not good for you. But I saw this today. I think this is the wall between Mexico and the United States. And you can see here, I don't even know how to make this stuff bigger. I don't know how Caleb does that stuff. Oh, just pinch and pull. Okay. And you see here that there's these 2 guys scaling the wall, carrying ladders. And then they throw the ladders up over the wall. They hook it on the top of the wall. And then I guess it's so everyone can just climb over. And I'm assuming they're coming into the United States, not going from the United States into Mexico. That's just an assumption on my part. Yeah, fireman's pole. If anyone knows where I can get one of those, that's not galvanized, let me know. I don't even know how I would get that to my house. I don't know if it comes in pieces and you screw it together, or you order it and have it sent to Home Depot. But I need a. No, I'm not retired from. I thought you were retired from working the pole. Not at all. This seems more functional to me than climbing a rope. This seems like this should be at the games. This is some functional shit. Being able to scale this wall could change the life for millions and millions of people, good and bad. So I saw that today. I thought that was fascinating. I think that's it. That's the wall that I think that's the wall that Trump wanted to build, right? Or built. Obviously, he built some of it. There was one of these at the games in 2017. There was a steel pole. I don't remember that. Really? There was a climbing pole? Oh, maybe at Camp Pendleton? Yeah, dear Bill and Katie. I agree. I totally agree. Dear Bill and Katie. I think Katie's with a C. C-A-I-T-Y. Fine, it's fine. Not that what you did is wrong. I'm not a spelling or grammar person. And I'm not proud of that either. Dear Bill and Katie, how about a climbing pole for my backyard? Anywhere from 13 to 16 feet would be fantastic. Actually, let's play it safe. 14 feet to 20 feet. Thank you. All right. I'm on my own today, guys. There'll be lots of ums and uhs to try to fill the time in between pulling things up. Okay. I saw this on Instagram today. There's a Instagram account called Gays Against Groomers. One of my favorite accounts. I love it. It's exactly what needs to be done. We need obese people speaking up against the pharma and nonsense pandemic talk. We need melanated people talking about the insanity behind BLM. All of these people, the pandemic people and the BLM people are people who demand, and we'll get to that today. I have some great clips for you. They demand that these things exist in the world so that they can justify their issues, not because they're real. And so there's this organization out there that now has refused to do any printing for Gays Against Groomers. And so if you use this company, please stop using this company. You know I'm not a big fan of cancel culture, but this company is called Printful. And anyone who's in the fight to protect kids is doing the right thing. And I'm not suggesting that this company get canceled just because they're against the fight to protect kids. But I wouldn't want anyone I know or myself to ever send them money and allow them to continue what they're doing, even though they don't put the priority of around kids to not sexualize kids. If you are going to print any shirts, if you do want to print something, who I do recommend you go to is Travis Bellinghausen at Vindicate. Travis, hi.
How's it going, man?
Good. So do not use Printful. Hi.
Yeah, I'm actually very interested in this because I have used them before. So what do we know about Gays Against Groomers? Are they for sure legit?
No, I don't know if they're for sure legit. I just know them from their Instagram account. And I know that they have a lot of people who check the boxes that they're gay when I go to their account.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They have the gay affect or the gay culture oozing from them the same way maybe a rapper has black culture, or a Middle Eastern guy working in a liquor shop has I'm assuming he's Middle Eastern because he works in a liquor shop and his skin's dark and he talks like my dad. Gays Against Groomers. I'll go to the post.
They check all the boxes.
Yeah. So
no, I'm
these
just,
people on the site and I appreciate them because they're at the front lines and they can say stuff without someone saying that they're anti-gay or that they're homophobic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, I appreciate I appreciate them putting their ass on the line. It's kind of like they're going against, they're going against woke culture and what's supposed to be said.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. If they are for sure legit and they're not just a, like I said, out to cancel people just because. I'm very interested because I have used Printful before and they provide some really cool shit. But why are they I don't understand why they're canceling this Gays Against Groomers.
I'm going to read the whole thing to you. I have it pulled up on the screen here. Printful has suspended our account for not representing their values. Why did they, a nonprofit organization of LGBT people fighting the sexualization, indoctrination, sterilization, and mutilation of children, are they in favor of those things? But you know what? And now that you've called, an angle that I've thought maybe these Printful people don't want to work with gay people. Maybe it's not that they're against diddling kids. Maybe it's that they don't want to work with gay people. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's what I would like to know. Is it a overarching? We're just not working with anybody who does anything LGBT related, or is it this group individually?
Yeah, very interesting. I made the assumption that it was that they were woke and that they were, but maybe they're just bigots.
Yeah,
because like the person who won't make
that's an even bigger issue.
Like the people. Well, I would take a bigot and a racist any day over a diddler. 10 out of 10 times.
But, yeah.
Like
sure.
One because for a variety of reasons. But let me read this to you. What the letter that they wrote. This is from Linda M. at Printful Support. Hi, we've made the decision to discontinue our business relationship with your store. This is ultimately a decision to mitigate the risk of being affiliated with a store that doesn't represent our company values. Printful serves customers from all backgrounds, and there are differences in opinions and life experiences among our store owners. We do our best to remain neutral and respect freedom of speech, yet we draw the line at content that foments hatred towards any person or group. Oh, okay. So they are against. So at that point, they're upset because this Gays Against Groomer does spew hate against people who are pedophiles. And although my heart, I don't even have a heart. Take two. Although my being is filled with compassion for other people, I do draw the line 100% at pedophiles. I don't.
Yeah,
I have a hard stop there. And maybe I need to work on that. But as a result, your account has been suspended. You will still have access for 5 business days, but no payments will go through, and all existing orders are on hold. This should give you time to retrieve your design files. So it sounds like, without them saying, that they're upset because Gays Against Groomers don't like groomers. People who listen. No one find. And I know I'm preaching to the choir. No kids find adults attractive. My kids are disgusted by my body. I'm not even a hairy man, believe it or not. But kids are disgusted by the adult anatomy. They don't like pubic hair. They don't like big penises. They don't like balls. They don't like your teeth. They're pure. And for adults in any way to think that they have any business being intimate with children is completely absurd, vile, disgusting. And I think that that's what they're saying, because the Gays Against Groomers are they are heavy-handed. Oh my God, there is a God. There is a God. Gays Against Groomers are heavy-handed against groomers, against people who approach little kids and coax them into doing performing sexual activities with them. And so I think that's
they should be.
Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate that so much, what they're doing. I swear to God, if these people were selling Coca-Cola, I'd fucking buy some. I so appreciate what these people are doing. I'd chug a fucking 2 liter of Coke on the air and put on a pair of Nobles. I mean, maybe
they sell one of those poles you can get for your backyard.
Yes, that too. Yes. And so I think that's what's going. I think that's what's going on. You could write them and ask them.
Okay.
Their Instagram is getting destroyed, by the way. They're getting destroyed on Instagram.
I don't use them for a lot. I tell you what I did use them for, and I spent them a fuckload of money, was the no rep flags. Before I found a different vendor, that's where I got all the no rep flags down.
Awesome. And I thought you were going to. I'm so glad you didn't say the CEO shirt. I'm so glad it's Hiller shit that's tainted.
No. God damn it, Hiller. All right,
this
well,
is the company right
I'll
here.
be,
These
I'll
ding
be
dongs.
digging into that.
Yeah.
I'll check
Okay.
out their Instagram, but yeah, they're not getting my business anymore.
Yeah,
I
and-
saw Jim in the comments has used them before also, and he's like, "Nope, I'm done." So Jim, we'll chat.
Listen, if you're a gay man, you might think I have a nice body. I'm not gonna lie. I got big old titties. They're kind of firm. I got broad shoulders. I got a little gunt. If you were gay and you needed a small little Armenian man to whatever live out your dreams, I might be cute. But for anyone else, you'd have to be my wife
All
to
those
love this body.
California hormones.
Yeah. Not yet. Give me 10 more years. 10 more years for me.
There you go.
All right, Travis. Thanks
All
for
right, cool.
calling. Thanks for having me dig down a
You
little
bet.
deeper.
You bet. Bye.
What's up, dude?
So, were you at the gym?
Yeah, and then I couldn't get into my car. The
Oh, shit.
thing to unlock it, the key going into the door to unlock it, just stopped.
You think someone put a screwdriver in it last night?
No, it was getting sticky, and it's been having issues with it, and so it just took a little bit longer.
You know, it would be worse
getting
if that
some
was
out
your
of
wife's vagina. If all of a sudden it just closed down and didn't work and got sticky.
just did not work.
I'm glad that it was just your car. How did you finally get in?
I didn't.
You spit on it.
No, I lubed it up. I got some WD-40. I watched the whole entire thing on YouTube of how to do it, and my car is at the gym.
Wow. It's not like you have some fancy car with some crazy power locks and shit. It's just it's an old Civic, right?
Mm-hmm. No, it's an 07 Honda Civic.
And you examined the key. Did you try both sides?
There's only one side on that model.
Oh, how classy car manufacturers gotten. We're only going to put the key lock on one side.
Yeah, and it still works for to open the trunk. No problem. Slides in, pops the trunk open. So there's nothing wrong with the key. But I'll go back and try to fiddle with it. Luckily, my parents don't live too far away, so I literally just jogged to their house, grabbed a truck that my dad doesn't use as often because he has a work truck, and hopped in it and cruised here. Here we are.
I wish someone would pay me to go around the country and beat the dog shit out of every pedophile. So hostile. What will you do? You'll call a locksmith now and he'll come out, or you'll take it, or you'll have it towed to Honda.
I'm not sure. I haven't really thought through that. I think I'm going to try to first just maybe if I could switch out the key fob, a battery, and see if it'll electronically work again, because that battery just recently died not that long ago.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
that doesn't work, then we'll see.
Okay.
That's plan. That's the first plan.
That will only cost you $1,200 to get a new key fob for your $800 car.
Yeah, might be time to get a new one soon.
Do you have access to the list, or should I pull this up?
I got
until
it.
you-
Yeah.
you- Oh, you demand. Okay.
Go ahead.
314. This story here is what it was like for me growing up in the Bay Area, by the way. I wanted to let you know this. So if you wonder what my perspective is, the Bay Area is like, San Francisco, Fremont, Hayward, Berkeley, Oakland, Benicia, Concord. The only part of the Bay Area I'd never hung really was Sausalito. I never hung in Sausalito. But this is the Tate man, who I suspect we're going to be having on the show here maybe in January. This is a great story he tells here. And I have a handful of stories like this also. Very important story.
Like fries and fried chicken. And there's a long line. And an Audi with tinted windows pulls up. These three big black guys get out, push straight in front of the whole line, go straight up to the front, cut in front of 5 people, and start ordering. My girl goes to me, "We've been waiting here ages." I said, "Shut the fuck up." Shut the fuck up. She goes, "You're just gonna let them push in?" I said, "Shut the fuck up." Anyway, 2 in front of me, he couldn't tell this bitch to shut up. She's like, excuse me, there's a line. And the guy turns around and goes, "You think I don't see the fucking line? I don't care about the fucking line." So she starts running her mouth. Bro, this dude knocked her the fuck out. Clean, out cold. By the time her man looked at her and looked back up, boom, sparked, done. And I stood there and watched both of them just laid out clean. The 3 dudes who ordered the chicken and chips didn't even take their food. They started laughing, walked back out on the car. And I turned around and said to my girl, "You see, some people are just ready to fucking go to jail. Some people are ready to kill people over fucking nothing." It was 4 in the morning.
And I tell you, I've seen something very similar that happened probably, I don't know how many times growing up from the age of 16 to 20. I'm sure Susan's seen that too. 3 black dudes get out of a car and walk up to the front of the line at McDonald's, and you don't say shit. If they tell you to wait outside while they order, you go wait outside and order. The truth is, if it's 3 white guys, doesn't matter. It just so happened for me, it was mostly black guys. There's no point. At that point, it's just your ego. Go outside, hang out, scroll your Instagram. If you're a guy, unstick your balls from the side of your leg. Clean the lint out of the bottom of your pockets.
Don't get the ego involved.
Yeah, drop to one knee and pray to the heavens and thank God that you're bound for glory and greatness and wealth. What a great opportunity to chill.
Were you ever around any girls? You ever date any girls that would be like that? That would just start mouthing off?
No, I avoided those bitches like the plague. I did not. If I any girls who were like that, but I had a lot of friends who had girlfriends like that. You had a girlfriend like that?
No, but like 2 or 3. It's funny because Grace is the anti that. So
Mine
about 2 years ago, we were going to actually see Joe Rogan live at Shoreline. And almost the same exact situation. There's a big line to get in through Will Call. It's moving steadily, so it's not like a huge deal. But, the show's getting ready to start. And these 2 dudes just walked right in, and they were about 1 person in front of us and just cut. Big dudes. And right as they cut, I'm watching them. And, I mean, you've been with me in public. Usually I'm like, my head's always on a swivel. That's just how I kind of go. So I saw them coming from a little bit of ways. And Grace saw me watching them as they kind of walked up, and she's like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't say anything to him. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything to him. And so they cut right in front, and the guy right in front goes to say something, and she looks back, she goes, don't say anything. Don't say anything. And I was like, we're good.
Hey,
So
let them in. Do the
Yeah.
opposite. Let them in.
Yeah.
Brother, let me pay for that for you. I mean, dude.
Hey, by the way,
those people aren't destined for greatness. Those people are living minute to minute. Because someone eventually bigger than them, or someone's going to pull out a knife or something. Those dudes, it doesn't end well for those guys. It never, ever does. I knew guys that did that shit. I didn't know any girls who did that, but I knew I knew girls who did that. I didn't date them. But you knew guys who did that too, right?
Oh,
and you know what happened to them, right? They're like in jail, or they get stabbed, or they show up to school one day with a broken arm, or
it's just a matter
something.
of time.
Yeah.
Because all they're going to do is one day they will find their equal or somebody else who's willing to go a little bit further.
Yeah, they're going to run into fucking Jim.
Mm-hmm.
One day they're going to run into fucking Jim and 2 of his cop buddies, and they're going to fucking end up in the back of a cop car.
Yeah. No.
Hey, there's a whole state. If you like girls like that, there's a whole state of girls like that. It's called New Jersey. Just go there and get those girls. You want to fight? Those girls will find fights for you.
My grandpa always had a saying that he'd always say the fish always loses through the mouth.
I need help. Oh, because he gets hooked?
Every time.
Yeah.
So that was the deal. Just keep your mouth. I saw a girl one time, a friend. We were with a group of
Allison, I bet you could walk up to the front of any line. I bet you could walk up to the front of any line. No one says shit to you.
And it would be the most non-aggressive. They'd be stoked. But yeah, a girl ran over and grabbed like a cowboy hat off of her like boyfriend or something. This was years back in Tahoe. And the girl got mouthy with her, and the other girl didn't even exchange any words. She just turned and punched her right in the mouth, and it pushed back her 2 front teeth and everything. It was gnarly. And it was just
dude,
like, that's that,
And the difference between the have and have-nots now is huge. Like, places like Newport or the Bay Area, there's Los Angeles. I don't know how it is in other states, but there's some people here who can really fight now. There's fucking 15-year-old kids who are killers now. Like my kids are going to be like that.
Yeah, you had a chance when jiu-jitsu and MMA wasn't so popular, but
yeah, there's dudes now who are fucking killers, just walking amongst us, and they will do something to you. Speaking of killers, Allison's husband will fucking mash you. I don't know if you've ever met that. You met that dude, right?
Yeah.
That dude will fucking mash someone.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's especially too, you just spend a little bit of time at a jiu-jitsu place, and you're going to watch and you'll see these guys come in that you would never expect. Don't look the part at all, nothing. And all of a sudden you see them on the mats and they're just killers. And you're like, holy shit, if you would have gotten entangled with that dude, he would have broken your arm or choked you out super quick. And it would have been some old dude like that you would never suspect, quiet, nice.
All my friends in Santa Cruz, now that I think about it, I got this other friend, Donovan, 170-pound dude. Fucking nicest guy ever, longest fuse ever. God forbid anyone were to ever fuck with him.
Those are
Holy
the real
shit.
Those are the real killers. People like Donovan that are
Holy
just
shit.
nice, super unassuming.
He will tie you in a knot and fucking knock out your teeth.
And he would probably let you go for a little bit if you started running your mouth. You know, he would
Yes.
let you go and go and go, and you'd build that confidence and ego, and then he would snap you like a twig.
Yeah, nice guy. Nice guy. Okay. 313. This is from Patrick Bet David, who is a guest on the podcast, who I hope we're going to get back on again soon. These are the kind of the shortest, quickest summation of the evolution of consciousness that I've ever heard. Well, check it out, and then we'll shoot the shit about it.
One time told me this. It says every kid and a parent, specifically father-son relationship, goes through 3 phases. First, they idolize, which you just used the word, they idolize that.
Oh my God, I love the Liver King.
I can't believe you did the stat, which
I
you
think
haven't
it's
done. Your
steroids,
sons
Liver
are,
King.
they have your back. And the last one is humanize. That is a human. He's not a machine. He's not perfect. Okay. So that level of him, and that lifts weight off our back to become looser parent, having fun. You still have high standards and expectation, but I'm not here to be perfect. A guy one time told me this. It says every kid and a parent, specifically father-son relationship, goes through 3 phases. First, they idolize, which you just used the word, they idolize that. Then they demonize. I can't believe you did the stat, which you haven't gone through. Your sons are, they have your back. And the last one is humanize. That is a human. He's not a machine. He's not perfect. Okay. So that level of him, and that lifts weight off our back to become.
You rarely go backwards in your evolution. That's what, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but that last piece is what you want to cultivate. Not because it's the right thing to do, but it's where all your happiness is. So first we idolize people. Oh my God, the Liver King is the greatest fucking dude ever. I want to be like him. Then we demonize the first second he falls to the ground, drops to one knee. And then the more evolved human being is like, he's just human. He's just human. And so the only for those of us who are at the last part of consciousness, who are swimming in that last end, and I don't know if it's the last end. I don't know what happens next. Maybe we turn into aliens and fly away. Fuck, I'm open to it. Maybe I'm going to turn into a butterfly and beam me up, Scotty. But the only trick now for us who are at the end of this journey is when we see people who are further back from us, those are the hardest people to have compassion for. Those are the hardest people for me to have compassion for, the people who are kicking the man who's down. You see that? Well, you know, it is a good parallel. And you know what's interesting here? I'm only seeing what I want to see because it's in the mindset I'm in these days, right? I'm in the mindset now of trying to use the Liver King as an example of what's going on. So I'm in this mindset. So when I see this, I'm like, fuck, this works perfect. Maybe if I wasn't in this mindset, I wouldn't have seen it. But yeah, even if let's say you're convinced that I'm wrong and you're right. What I would ask you to do, though, is eventually, if you want to be a higher order thinker and a higher order human being, and I know that's self-serving, you will get to where I'm at, and you will look back and be like, oh, I was wrong. I'll never look back and say you were right because I can already see what you're saying. I agree with you already. He's a liar. I agree with you that that people were manipulated either intentionally or unintentionally. I agree with you. But you can't see what the rest of us are seeing, which is the next step. That's the hardest part about evolving past the group. That you can always see them and you just want to fucking stoop to their level and slap the shit out of them. But if you do, then you're down back to where they are. Love you guys. Love you guys too. Love you guys too. Love you, Matt. Bye. Have a good weekend. Yeah, take us with you. Put YouTube on the phone. What are you doing? What do you got to go for? Hey, even if you're leaving, let it play so we get the knowledge.
Yeah, don't turn it off. Just leave it there.
I want to show you one more thing along kind of this same line. Another angle on this is 312. This lady almost has it perfect, I think, but I think she's missing one piece. Alan Kesterbaum, Kenneth DeLab, David Weed. Stand by. Caller, hi.
Sevan, what's up, dude?
What's up, dude? Thanks for taking us in the car.
No problem. Is it fucked up? Can you hear me okay?
Sounds great. I'm just trying to show my listening skills off. That was just like me, just like bragging that I pay attention to the nuances. But you sound great.
Thanks, buddy. It's Jim, by the way.
Jim, hi.
Good, man.
Jim, what's up?
So, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Great.
So I was just thinking about what you're just saying about that father-son relationship, and this is something that I've been kind of struggling with lately. And I said it in the group chat, or the live chat, dude, I was fucking terrified of my father, probably until I was 19 or 20. And looking back on it, I'm like, man, I couldn't stand the shit, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm looking back on it, I'm like, wow, I'm really appreciative that he had, he put that fear in me and taught me the right shit, because if not, I'd probably be a big piece of shit. And I've been struggling with this back and forth with my kid. It's like, I hear people say I'm not friend, we're not friends, I'm your parent, blah, blah, blah. And dude, it's tough because I want my kids to like me, but also I don't want to raise a piece of shit. So there's a fine line of how to discipline them, how to push them, where do you think that relationship is like? Do you think it's a happy balance, or do you think they're it is what it is? You got to suck it up for the better part of 15 years and be a hard ass on the kids, on the, males in particular.
The thing that my mom and my wife keep telling me is I can be as tough on the kids as I want, but don't disrespect them.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect them. And there's two different ways you can say shut the fuck up, and there's a way you can say, calling someone stupid is disrespecting them. Don't
right.
disrespect your kids. What the fuck is wrong with you? We've all, at least I've been guilty of being I can't believe you did that. I'm disrespecting my kids at that point. I'm not taking the time,
right.
But being a hard ass, no. The other day I was asked, we were in line just a couple days ago. We're in Newport Beach and we're at a coffee shop and we're in line, and I asked the kids 4 times what they want and they won't listen to me. So I took them outside. I said, you guys want to eat? They go, yeah. I go, well, you're going to have to pay the price for making me repeat myself 4 times. And I made them run laps around to a palm tree and back. And of course they had a blast, right? They cried a little bit at first. And then after 5 or 6 laps, they were stoked. They were high on endorphins and dopamine, and they're wrestling. And they even forgot that we were going inside to get a croissant and a glass of milk. And we went in and got that. Yeah. And guess what they said when we were done? Can we go back and run sprints again around the palm tree? I said, hell yeah, I'll run them with you.
That's awesome.
Disrespect. But what also wants to come out of my mouth in there is hey, dipshits, you're not listening to me.
Right.
And it's why? That's not respectful.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So that's the thing they always remind me, and it's a tough balance. It's a tough balance for me.
Yeah, and I think it's tougher the more that you love your kids too. I'm listening to JR's podcast, which I love. I identify with pretty much everything that he said. I mean, it's almost similar. We were parallel lives. I remember having the best game of football in my life and coming home after the game and my dad being let's watch film. You missed 5 tackles. And it's I try to think about that when I'm being a father. And if you went through it, it's probably a lot tougher to do that with your kids because you know what you personally went through. But at the same time, you're looking back on it fuck, that made me the man that I am. But in the moment, it's probably really, really hard to instill those lessons on a kid. And I'm having trouble thinking about acting that way towards my kids. But I know in the long run, the benefit that plays out to it.
Yeah. I heard one time that the best you can hope for with your kids is to be their parent when they're young. And when you're older, if everything goes perfect, they'll be your siblings.
Yeah.
And my relationship with my mom is so freaking awesome. And I would say more and more it feels like she's my sister than my mom. Now, don't get me wrong. She's still I probably still have some I still probably I idolize my mom still. I haven't let her down completely off of the pedestal. But now it's we're better than friends. We're like siblings, and it's fucking cool. It's really cool. I call my mom every day. I'll call my mom just to even if I got nothing to say. Hey, what are you doing? She's like, why are you calling me? I'm like, I don't know. It's just one of my homeboys. Like if I were to call Susan, I'm he'll be like, what's up? What you need? I'm like, I got nothing. Just called.
Yeah, that's dope. Do you have that relationship with your dad too, or just your mom?
No, I don't. My mom. I don't have that relationship with my dad. I love my dad to death. I love being with him, but my dad's not if I'm alone with my dad, we have that relationship, but we don't get a lot of alone time. I get so much alone time with my mom. I get alone time with my mom every day because she lives just down the street from me. So she comes over to my house and we'll fiddle around. But second there's anyone else around, I don't have that relationship with my dad. It's really weird.
So, dude, I mean, I'm in the exact same situation as you. Like, I idolize my mother. I'm, love her to death. Can have those conversations with her. And like, yeah, don't get me wrong. I love my dad, but there's just not that relationship. Probably because of the way that I was raised with him. It just doesn't feel like that could possibly, that could be a possibility. Which it scares me because I want to have that relationship I have with my mom, with my kids. But then I'm also like, dude, this kind of made me the man that I am, and I'm appreciative of all the shit that he did. That kind of in turn made this relationship the way it is. So it's like, fuck, man, what do you do?
Yeah.
It's a tough thing to balance.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll just call in and say that. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the show. Enjoy listening to it as always, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Awesome. Thanks for calling, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you, bud.
I think there's room for like an evolution, though, right? And I'm not a parent, so take the advice.
You have parents, but
for
you
what
have
it's
parents.
worth. I do. I have two parents. I'm lucky enough to have two really awesome parents.
You have four now.
Yeah, yes, true. And one of the things that I think too is like the evolution of that. So like using the example that Jim just gave, like, hey, he played an awesome game, and first thing that was said from dad was like, hey, let's watch him tape. You missed 5 tackles. Period. But if that was just framed a little bit differently, you could still have the same outcome and you could still have the same meaning just by giving some more, right? So you could be like,
ask questions instead of tell them.
how'd you feel about that game? It's awesome. I thought you did great too. I think we should watch some film. Why? It was a great game. Yeah, but there's 5 tackles. That means there's room for us to get better. You want to watch that film?
Or you don't even have to be that like with my kid, I can just pull up a jiu-jitsu match and be like, hey, so what do you see?
Exactly.
What yeah. and I'll even start with this. What could that other kid done better?
Right.
And then kind of seep into what could you have done better? So totally.
And then you're just bringing them more on the process with you, because obviously the intent and everything was there, very well meaning. But if you just kind of have that stark, old school kind of mentality of like, could have been better. And then that's kind of it as a child, especially. And now the age matters a lot, right? As they get older, you could be a little bit more like that with them. But I feel like, especially in the younger, it's probably better to just give a little bit more.
And if they're not your kid, you can be more straight with them, right? So you'll take that shit from someone else that you'd never take from your parents.
Right.
Like if the coach pulls you aside and like, quit being a pussy, and if I see you walk one more time on the field, you're out. Push harder. You're like, yes, sir.
Right.
And you like it.
Yeah.
Like for me, that meant that if a stranger said that to me, that meant they cared.
Right.
If your parents said it to you, it means you let them down. Corey, hi. Not hi. Hi, not. Hello.
So do you want to hear my take on how I'm a mama's boy, or do you want to hear my hot take on how I think we might be wrong on Brittney Griner?
Oh, behind door number 1, door number 2. Let's do Griner first. And I'd also like to hear the story the first time you undid a girl's bra.
Okay. It was one-handed.
Yeah, I think I did that too, just because. Isn't that weird?
I mean, it felt, I knew I was supposed to be there.
Was it the one with the hooks that have to go into the cloth, or was it the one where you had to like fold it in half and then it came open?
Yeah, and there was like second nature. I knew how to do it even as I was doing it with one hand. And like, then I got to the boob, and that was unordinary for me. It felt unnatural, but unclipping the bra I was home.
God. How old were you?
I was an early adopter. I was maybe like 13.
Wow.
14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I early adopted everything, which is why, like y'all know now, I don't drink anymore.
Are you still friends with her?
No, I don't talk to anybody from my childhood.
Oh. I'm not friends with that. The first bra I did either. I think I was probably 16 or something, but I would be if I would be friends with her.
Yeah, she's a great girl, I'm sure, but no, I don't talk to anybody from my childhood. I had to let all those people go.
Okay. Okay.
So,
I can't even unclip a bra. That's a shitty. That shit is tricky.
I don't. It's crazy how we don't need that skill anymore.
Yeah.
It's like we had.
Now
we
I
had
just
to
pull it up
master
off
by
the top of my
puberty.
wife's head. Yeah. Now, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Or-
Good point.
Or I snap my thumb and I'm just like, hey, can you take your bra off for me?
Oh no, I don't let anyone open my presents. I get pissed if someone opens my presents.
That's a good point. So here's my take on Brittney Griner. I was
Okay.
thinking about this from a show I was trying to catch up to earlier. What if we're not seeing the big picture?
Oh, hold
What
on. Wait 1 second. Crypto dog, bro. I tried to use the code Sevan at Paper Street Coffee and it didn't work. I still bought a shit ton. Here's the thing, dude. You're going to fucking hate me for this, Crypto dog. You were probably at the wrong site. There's another Paper Street Coffee website that's not this Paper Street Coffee. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Did you go to this place, Crypto Dog?
Yeah. God, that bums me out.
Did I take my mom?
You should be working with both companies.
Yeah, Gabe, we should be working with both companies. I think I think Gabe's gonna get that is gonna try to get that website, so that shit doesn't happen anymore. Okay, sorry, go on.
Use code Sevan at either Paper Street, get 10% off. So I'm probably wrong, but at least hear this perspective. What if Tim Kennedy's on a plane right now, and because they released this, what's it, Bout guy? Because they released the Bout arms dealer. What if that's a part of the bigger plan? What if they set him free, knowing that we're just going to get him eventually and just going to bring him back home? Is that a possibility? I mean, what if we're not seeing the big picture?
He's pondering.
I tell myself that every day about this podcast. Don't worry about the fact that you're running out of runway and dipping into your savings to pay for shit. The big picture is one day this podcast is going to make me rich.
I agree.
Fuck, I hope one of us is right, dude, and I hope it's not you.
I've got to. Well, I mean, that's the fear. I mean, seeing what's happened over the last.
I don't know how you could even say
3
that,
years.
Corey. Let me just be really harsh with you. Yeah, I could make that shit up about anything.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to see the positive. I mean,
The positive is that her mom and dad got her home, right? The positive
True,
is that
yeah.
it's some young girl, hopefully. And, you know, I did see on ESPN, even though they said a bunch of shit that was lies, so who knows if this is true. They said that she's already said that one of the things she's going to push for is to get Wheelan out. That she's going to work on that herself. And so that I think is a positive. But if you think that they let this arms dealer out on purpose, so for whatever reason they can track him to his next deal, or they know we're going to get him again or catch him again, I don't know. I broke up with. I'm going to divorce my wife today, knowing that I'll get another girl next week. I don't know. It just sounds. I don't know.
I mean, I don't believe it coming out of my mouth, but I just had to shed some light. Just be like, maybe there's a positive to some of this. You got to see the light side of everything. So.
Yeah, David Weed, Brittney Griner is a good dude. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't know her, but she's probably a good dude. Yeah, I tried to. I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show, but I tried to like. I didn't try. I did. I do recognize that everyone is someone's kid, and that we're all human beings, and that we're all moving around in this world, and some of us get some fucked up shit happen to us. That being said, she should just be released. She's no fucking hero. Any mom that competed in the Legends competition this weekend is a fucking hero. There should be a statue of those women.
But that's not an excuse to do equally fucked up shit, or just to not take account. I've had some really fucked up shit happen in my life.
Right.
But I take accountability for it. And in my head, I've always said, all right, I've, seen people die. Friends have died from drug overdoses. I've been touched, like, some really fucked up shit. And in my head, I'm like, all right, now I can either use that as an excuse, or I can learn from this and become a better version of myself. This can be the story or the catalyst on why I'm not the way that I am, or I can be a slave to that story and make excuses my entire life. And I choose to do the former instead of the latter.
The arms dealer that's out has already said he's going straight to the front lines of the Ukrainian war. Eric Wise, totally worth the trade. I haven't seen that, but what was the other story you were going to tell us? So we got a bra story. We got your take on Brittney.
I'm a mama's.
Oh, mama's boy.
I mean, I was listening. I tuned in just in time to hear about the female kids and having that. I'm a mama's boy. I only remember my dad for about half of my life growing up because he was in the military. And I think it's a curious perspective because now I have a daughter, and all I remember my dad was being that fearful figure. Like, anytime I got a whipping, it was always my dad that did it. Anytime I was getting yelled at, my mom always put it on my dad. And so there was importance of having that fatherly figure. And as soon as I was old enough and started taking responsibility for my own stuff and eventually moved out of the house, my dad couldn't be more softer. Like, he is the softest individual that I know in our family. He is such a pansy, always wanted to take care of everybody. But in the house, he played that fatherly figure. So I think now, being a father myself, I'm having to, I guess, just, wade these waters and learn what are the right things to do. But I think that's natural for every parent. And I don't think, as there's no right way to do this thing. I think there are some definitely.
It's also different with the dad and the daughter than dad and boys. It's got to be.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be. So
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dad still needs to be tough on the daughter, though. He still is. The lion still bites the female cubs too. We had Amanda Levy on the show. For those of you who don't know who that is, she beat Gabrielle Garcia in a jiu-jitsu tournament. Gabby Garcia's, juiced to the gills, 6'5", 300 pounds, and she beat her in jiu-jitsu. She was like the first girl ever to do it in like 200 matches or some shit. And Amanda Levy said that her dad used to take her to jiu-jitsu tournaments and sign her up for like 5 fucking weight classes, and she'd lose 13 matches in a row, and her dad would be like, and do it, repeat the next week over and over and over. And it's like, yeah, and look what happened to her. Now Amanda Levy's one of the greatest female jiu-jitsu stars on the planet. And it's like, hey, there's all the great people have stories like that. Some parent was like fucking sacrificed the quick part of the relationship with their kid to make their kid great. Hey, if my wife doesn't tell me, hey, you're being too hard on the boys, then I know I'm not doing my job. When she tells me I'm being too hard on the boys, I know 51% of the time I'm right.
Do you think that's equally so for a father with his daughter? Because my wife does, I
probably do. Yes, I probably do. Because they're supposed to protect the kid. Yeah, you should definitely be hearing that. Dude, I saw this fucking... My boys do jiu-jitsu with these 2 Mexican chicks that just came from Watsonville. That's kind of, in my area, that's like the ghetto. And they just came from Watsonville. The dad's fucking wears the flat bill hat, and he's fucking tatted from his forehead to down to his toes, right? Mexican dude. And
hell yeah.
And he brings his kids to jiu-jitsu every day. The coolest fucking girls. And they fucking beat up on my boys, and my boys love them. They're like, one of the girls the same age as Avi and probably outweighs him by 20 pounds, and she's skinny and tall. And she's got huge, beautiful eyes and a crazy smile. She smiles the whole time she's putting it to Avi. And Avi loves her too. And the other day, I always go, they showed up at the pool after jiu-jitsu where we went. And I watched the dad play with his 10-year-old and 8-year-old daughter in the pool. Fuck, dude. I wouldn't do that shit to my boys. He was mashing them, and the girls loved it. They loved it. He was mashing them, throwing them, tossing them, holding them under, doing shit. If I did to my boys, I'd be afraid it'd make them cry. So, maybe the Vatos do it different, but fuck, these girls are awesome. I do that. I don't do it like in seriousness, but I look around when my kids are with other kids, and I'm like, okay, could my boys marry those girls? Could that be my father-in-law? And I'm like, fuck yeah, when I see that.
Yeah, I think everybody's environment is adaptable, and I'll go after this, let somebody else call in. But I think everybody's environment is adaptable. I'm naturally tough on my daughter just because I try to be tough on myself, and I want her to, the world is going to kick her ass enough, and so I'm trying to develop her skin so she can take some of those ass whoopings when she gets out there in the real world. Yeah. But we have a hill in our backyard, and at 2 years old, she would run up and down the hill, and she would fall guaranteed almost every single time, flat on her face, would never cry. And the first day at school, I put her up there on the monkey bars, and she's 3 years old. I put her up there on the monkey bars, and I'm standing back about 15 to 20 feet just watching her, grinning from ear to ear, super excited because she's trying some new scary stuff.
Yeah.
And this dad comes running up 100 miles an hour, reaches his arms out and is trying to hold her in case she falls.
Yeah.
And he's screaming and he's like, "Whose daughter is this? Whose daughter is this?"
Yes.
And I come like walking, strolling up behind him, and I'm like, dude, it's my daughter. And he's like, "Oh my God, I thought she was gonna fall. My child would never try that." And his 5-year-old boy comes walking up behind him, and I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me! You're that soft on your kid. They have to fall. They have to fail."
Bro, story of my life. You said it right there. Just happened 2 days ago. My wife told me that my son was climbing on the outside of this slide. You know, instead of in the slide, it was one of those tube slides.
Yeah.
And a parent came up to him and goes, "Oh, that," and my wife's right there and goes, "That's not safe." And I want to be like,
you're not safe.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. But I kind of, you know what I do? Yeah, you handled it perfectly right. I just casually walk up to, it's like, you're not going to convince them, those people in that moment, but also it's a good opportunity for your kid to like deal with like a weird stranger situation. So I always kind of just watch.
Yeah. I love it.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling. Congratulations. Keep letting your daughter push the limits.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Hey, people don't realize either. That shit's not easy on us either. I'm not like watching my kid climb up the slide and like just comfortable with it. I'm uncomfortable with it too. I hear you.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, that'd be the place though, the playground with the bark and everything else. Like it's a little bit, it's made for that.
Or at least with me there. So if he falls and breaks his arm, I can take him somewhere.
That's true.
Or I can quit being a bitch. Okay. Trisha's back in the comments.
Any select words for Trish, or
I was gonna comment.
Have you laid that to bed?
No, I've not laid that to bed. I'm not done with Trish. Yeah, they do. They're working on a decaf now, Trish. Great question. Okay.
That photo.
Emma Wines. I had my daughter at 21. We've grown up together. I had no clue what I was doing. Gave me so much compassion for my parents. I admit my mistakes and apologize to her often. Humanizes me. Word. 21. Yeah, that's the big thing that happens, right? You start to really respect your parents. After you have kids, you're like, wow, you really loved me this much. Sevan, were you that easygoing when it was just Avi, or did it take some time to be so chill?
That's a great question, because I see it all the time with parents at the gym. They'll have their first kid, and it's like, you know, they want to build a whole thing around them, like, don't. And then by the time they stroll in with like the second one, they're like over in the corner and like dealing with some big weight, and they're like, they're fine. You know, it's a different tolerance between kid 1 and kid 2.
What we call it in my house is like benign neglect. So basically what happens is, it happened with our dog, right? So we had this dog and we always had it by our side. As soon as we had Avi, the dog just started getting neglected, and it was so much better for the dog. The dog just was like, would escape out of the house. He got to explore the neighborhood. We weren't always riding the dog's jock. I don't know. I don't think I was ever easy on Avi. I always let him fall a lot, and I made him do hard shit. The thing that where I handicapped Avi is that I still do so much shit for him, right? Like he's 8. He just learned how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And when I was 8, I could make a full breakfast, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, eggs, omelets, grate the cheese, cut the garlic, like really? Because I just could, because my mom just let me do that. I was the second child. I don't know if my sister could do that. So in that regard, what happens is you have 3 kids. So this is going to be crazy to say. My kid's like at 8 years old, Avi's still one of the only kids I know. Like he always demands I go to the bathroom with him still. The other day he went to a public restroom without me, and I couldn't even fucking believe it. I mean, I have so babied him on that level. And so, yeah, probably it's not so much that but I've always let him fall. I've always let him hurt himself. I always let him hang from rings. He's pretty, I convinced myself, this is how I did it with Avi. I always had rings hanging in my house, and I convinced myself that all my kids have the greatest grip in the world. And so basically once they get their hands on something, they're good to go. I have such confidence in their staying power. So I always let them climb high fences, and yeah, I've always been.
I'm acclimated to it. They're trained for that.
Yeah, they're trained for that.
They're
really good kids too. Everything that's wrong with them, I for sure created.
Yeah.
Like all their shortcomings.
I like Trish's question about the what is the line between having a wild child and having a rude kid? I find that a delicate balance. I think it all depends on how they respond when the behavior either needs to be slowed down, stopped, or corrected. From my point of view, as not being a parent, because I'll have kids in the gym, and sometimes we have a little play area, and sometimes they go nuts, and it starts to get a little overboard. They throw the toys out of the room or something like that, or they'll come out of there and do stuff. And if I come over, kind of like the stranger adult, and I'm like, hey guys, I need you to keep the toys in the room. Please don't throw the stuff. This is my stuff. Please don't throw it. And you guys can hang out there and have a good time, or you come sit here on the couch. And then the kids that are good and that are, obedient, they just stop. They're like, oh shit, we just got in trouble with that adult. Okay. And they'll like grab in, they'll clean, they'll kind of sit down. And the ones that are just being wild will kind of give you this look, wait for a second, and then go right back to the behavior. Or not even, just completely not acknowledge you at all. And that's when you know that it hasn't been, because kids are going to be kids, right?
Yeah, I spot
how they respond.
Yeah, I spot all the time. And I always try to use words that are action words, like squeeze, not be careful, or are you okay? I always use words like squeeze tighter. You're so strong.
Affirming.
Wow, your skills. Yeah, I use affirming. I cannot stand rude kids. I have no tolerance for kids. I'm a kid should be seen and not heard kind of guy 51% of the time. My kids should never, if I'm talking to Matt Susan, we're at the beach, my kids should never come over and interrupt. I want my kids to be that perfect dog when a friend comes over to your house and they bring their dog and you're upset. And next thing you know, you realize the dog just sits there, doesn't move. And you're like, wow, that's a great dog.
You end up loving the dog. Yeah.
Yeah. And you end up loving the dog. That's what you want for your kids. I've told the story a million times. My friend brings my friend who I hadn't seen in a while comes over to my house. He brings his kids with him. I forget how old the kid was. He was probably 10 years old, and I bought him some gifts. So when he came over, they were staying for 3 days. I wanted to schmooze the kid right away. So I had some gifts for him. I had these really cool, like steel spinners, expensive spinners. And I gave it to him, and he took it from me, and he didn't say thank you. And the dad asked him to say thank you like 20 times, and he wouldn't. And then the dad turns to me, and I love this guy, and he says, hey, don't worry. He'll say thank you later. If that was my fucking kid, I'd take that fucking spinner from him, and I would tell him that he can't have it. If I was calm, I would tell him he can't have it until he says thank you now and writes a letter. And he can sit over there and do it. And part of that's like could be humiliating for the kid, but it could be done tactfully. I don't give my kids any wiggle room when it comes to being around other adults. Throwing toys. Yesterday, I went to the fucking park. Parents, do not let your kids bring toys to the park. First of all, remember, everyone hates your kids. You have to know that your baseline. Everyone hates your kids. Everyone, except the grandparents and you. Do not bring toys to the park. I would go to the park 2 days ago in Newport Beach, and there's 3 or 4 slides there, and a kid is sliding his 8-year-old kid and a 3-year-old kid. Their brothers are sliding tractors down the slide. I tell my kids out loud so the other dad can hear. Stay away from the slide. Don't go over there until those kids leave. One of my Ari goes, because someone's going to get hurt, right? I go 100%. Not more than 30 seconds later, the 8-year-old slides the fucking tractor down the slide and fucking hits the fucking 3-year-old in the face. What did you think was going to happen? You're not even a new parent. You have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. Have you never been to the park? Dude, the park has plenty of toys. Leave your kids' toys at home. No one wants your kids' toys at the park with their kids. Don't let your kid. My kids aren't allowed. There's always one jackass kid running around with a stick in the park. Now the parents hate you and your kid. Well, the intelligent parents. The one on their phone doesn't give a shit working on her TikTok. I mean, just use some fucking common sense. So you don't have to be a dick to your kid, but you have to have very strict discipline. It just has to be just constant discipline. If your kid's not fucking polite, they need to pay the fucking consequences. And the only reason why is because you want people to like your kid. When people like you, your life's easy. When people don't like you, your life sucks. And I'm not saying you have to sell out and become woke. I'm saying you have to have some common decency. I saw a video with the Liver King the other day, and he was like celebrating that his kids were burping at the dinner table. I draw the line there. You don't burp at the dinner table. You try not to. You say, excuse me. No one wants your air coming out onto them.
Especially smelly air.
And hey, my son's autistic. Even though he doesn't quite grasp social cues, he knows when to say please and thank you. Oh yeah, that's huge. Please, thank you, eye contact, shake hands. Hey, there's this kid. It's actually right by Allison's house, Allison NYC's house on the beach. There's this autistic kid. And when I say kid, I mean he's 20, and he comes down there with his father a couple times a week, and he puts cones up around him so no one can get close to him, and he makes bubbles, and they are the craziest bubbles you've ever seen. Bubbles as big as cars, little bubbles. He has all these different wands that he dips into a bucket and makes different kinds of bubbles. He'll make like 1,000 little bubbles at one time. It's crazy. It is so cool. Okay. Number 312. And then we'll get to Emma's comment. Yeah. Bubbles, dude, get him into bubbles. Bubbles are amazing. People love bubbles. He gets reward. I always give him $20. People always give him money. It's such a pleasant experience.
Attracted to the person who recreates the emotional experience we had as children. It is the emotional experience that is our addiction. We think that we get attracted to a person who resembles our father or our mother, if it only was so clear. No. Now, if you go back to your childhood and how you predominantly felt, and now go, okay, I attracted that person, to awaken and evoke the same emotional experience. Go to the next intimate relationship. Same emotional experience. Till, of course, you change course and awaken.
So I don't know if you guys caught that. Sorry about the call, but basically what happened is she's saying that you're attracted to people so that you can keep reliving your emotional experiences through them, through pain that was created by your parents. And that was sort of the analysis that I was giving you of what's going on with Liver King. But I want to say this. She almost has it right. There is a caveat to that. There's an exception to that. You could find the perfect person and then sabotage the relationship because they won't give you what you want. They won't give you the pain that you're looking for. They won't betray you. So you'll set them up for betrayal. And you have to also realize that at some point you can use that person and forgive them for how they betray you to help overcome the hurt that you received previously in your life. It's not quite cut and clear as she's making it. It's not that you keep running away from those people, or you may have found someone who actually is the right person and you may set them up for failure. And I see that all the fucking time. And in essence, and I know you guys have heard me say this a lot before, in essence, that's what's going on today with sexism and racism. There's people out there who see racism. The vast majority of racist things that people claim that they're seeing, they're not seeing. And they're demanding that they see it because they believe it's out there, and your beliefs are your identity. So anything that you think you are or that is real, you will start demanding to see it in your world. And there's a quote that I've been reading. I've read it a few times on the show. The last couple of shows I've read it. If you have imaginary problems, you will never solve them. Only real problems can be solved. And so if you demand there's sexism and racism out in the world when there's not, those problems will never go away. And so you have to be careful with that, with what she's saying. You have to be careful not to use that and play the victim role. You can't find a great woman and then not have compassion for her, or also allow her to heal her wounds, or also project onto her that she's doing something wrong just because you're a jealous piece of shit because you've been hurt in the past. So it's a little more tricky than what she's saying. The mind wants to validate its identity. That's always what it's doing. That's why you get up and move, or else you would never get up and move. You would never get out of bed. It's trying to validate its existence. It's all fake. It's all fake. That's why we move. That's why we move. I wish I could do that.
It's a good attempt.
Thank you. 311. This is one of those videos I watched like 20 times. I can't even tell what's going on here. Obesity in America.
Wait, was that the right 311? Okay, yeah.
I'm actually fascinated by this woman's body. It looks like a caricature.
Is it the same one? This Twitter one here? This one?
Oh no, sorry, wrong one. This
Okay.
one's interesting too, though. Let's look at this. Will you click the map? Sorry. Click the map. Okay. On the left is 1990, obesity in the United States. I'm looking at the states and I'm seeing that the most obese state in 1990 is 20 to 24.9% of its residents are obese. And I don't know what state that is. I don't know if that's like Mississippi. It's the one next to Alabama. Is that Mississippi?
I'm so terrible at geography. I'm going to give it an attempt.
Yeah, I think it's Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. I think that's Mississippi. Now look in 2018.
That's crazy.
Oh, no, sorry. Mississippi is 15 to 20% of the people were obese in Mississippi in 1990. Now today in 2018, it's over 35%.
And the whole map has completely changed colors.
Yeah, everywhere. I mean,
majority of it's in the it wasn't even in the yellow, red, or purple in 1990, and now the whole thing is the orange, yellow, red, and purple.
And just to draw this connection here, because we are CrossFitters, look at the skinniest state in the country now. It's Colorado. It's also the whitest state in the country, and yet these fucking morons thought that Eric Roza was going to buy CrossFit and move it to Boulder, Colorado, the whitest fucking town in the United States, whitest, richest town in the United States. And the woke crowd was like, yay, he's our savior. Let me tell you where you move fucking CrossFit headquarters if you truly believe in the woke idea. Atlanta. Home of Chuck Carswell. Ding dongs. Like still, Colorado will always be white and skinny. Boulder, rich tech people. God, if you guys have not been to Boulder, you would not believe the way the men look there.
I've never been to Boulder. Hey, you know what else?
It's like the healthy version of Portland. It's all like skinny, like beta dudes, like with pants that are way too tight, and they have the North Face jacket on that's so fucking tight. Everyone there, like running 50 miles, is like nothing for them.
This map should also say percentage of sick adults. Because like if you're obese, it's only a matter of time, right? Your body's always in overdrive. You're hypertensive,
chronic disease,
tons of
chronic
inflammation.
disease. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like this is how sick the country is too.
Yeah, and you know that Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, West Virginia, and North Dakota all have the highest rates of chronic disease and premature death. All wear Patagonia. Yeah, shit like that. Yes. It's so crazy. They're not even dudes. It's like the weirdest manifestation of a man. Same in Portland. Imagine being born a man and trying to swim against that. Yes, they are harmless men. Yes. They're harmless men. Yes.
Harmless.
They're not even, they're men. They have penises. It's weird.
I need to go check it out.
Such a weird, I mean, it's weird. These different cities you go in and you see these different manifestations. Man, Portland's another one. Like they're swimming against, I mean, I'm all for swimming against stuff, but not against your biology. Like just that can't be fun. Have you seen this Heidi Klum doppelganger? Did I send you that? Did I show you that?
Yeah, we checked it out last time. Is it in the notes here?
It's in the notes somewhere. Yeah. Someone sent me a Heidi doppelganger. It's crazy.
It's actually just Heidi's other account. She just doesn't want us to know.
I wonder, I bet you that I'm not going to say that. That's mean. I bet that those relationships would be fascinating to watch, those relationships between men and women in Boulder.
Mm.
Heidi has aggressive tea. Yeah. I agree. Emma Wines, my CrossFit Teens coach had a rule for us that we couldn't date guys who couldn't deadlift more than us. Dating pool is small in Colorado. Yeah. Well, that sucks. I'm glad. That would be bad for me too. I had a year jump start on my wife in CrossFit, and although
Still
I think
got
maybe
crushed.
still got crushed. I think I could always deadlift more than her, but nothing else. She crushes me.
Yeah, but I don't really picture Haley as like the shit talking type after she wins a workout.
No,
or something.
She feels bad for me.
Oh, yeah,
stomps on my dick and then feels bad for me.
Yeah,
well, you're doing great. Good job.
Come work out with Grace. She's just gonna talk shit.
Yeah.
She'll beat some of these guys. Like she'll come down and work out with like the firefighter academy, and she'll be crushing them in a workout. And she's like, "You guys are pathetic. Come on."
Oh, awesome.
And they're just like, and then she'll go to the leaderboard, and there's like a small group of us that are somewhat competitive at the gym. We kind of look at each other's scores and stuff. And she'll just get on there and just talk trash. And one of the other guys is like, "This isn't fair because every single time you beat us, you talk all this shit. And the second you get beat, you're like, well, yeah, I'm the girl in the workout." So it's she plays the double standard.
You should be able to overhead press your girlfriend's weight.
Well, I'm screwed. My strict press is pathetic. You could probably out strict press me, I bet. What's your strict press?
135.
Yeah, we're dating like the same.
I mean, I haven't tried it in years. When I first came into CrossFit, it was 135, and after doing CrossFit for fucking 10 years, it was 135. One time, I didn't go shoulder to overhead for a year because my shoulder was so fucked up. And by shoulder overhead, I mean just nothing, no snatches or jerks or shit like that. I mean, my hand would go over my head, and then I maxed out my strict press again. And it was 135.
Yeah, I think the best I ever had was 150. But I behind the neck push jerk 3, or split jerk 335.
You took 335 off the rack?
It's in the blocks. I did it
and got it overhead?
In Vans and sweatpants.
Wow.
See it?
That's crazy. Were you tripping?
Yeah, but I was like, this is when I was like working out like a lot and like, strength training quite a bit and stuff like that. So it was like a slow, like evolution. But yeah, that was seeing if I could.
Alan, if I knew what I knew now, you're kind of fucked if you're a small dude that likes thick chicks. I swear to God, if I knew what I knew now and I had the values that I had when I was 20, I would have made it a goal to sleep with 20 women who were double blind body weight. 100%.
Oh, 315.
I would have loved to have just had that in my resume. Wow. That's 315?
Yeah.
Wow. I think I've had 215 over I think I clean and jerk 215 once, and that's the most I ever did. Wow.
Yeah, see, I used to be strong.
You're not anymore? You're not strong anymore?
220 snatch off the low blocks.
Did you get hurt? Why aren't you strong anymore? You got hurt or busy?
No, just don't train the same like I used to. I mean, I'm still
basically you bought those blocks and you felt obligated to use them.
That's it. That's right.
I know that feeling.
Trained on them, got a 315 behind the neck jerk, called it a day.
I had this girlfriend in college. I want to remember her name so bad. She was, I can't even describe her to you. She was over 6 feet tall and she was this blonde girl. She was 18. I was probably like 23. And she came up to me one day and said, "I really like you." It was at a coffee shop. And I was like, wow, this is fucking weird. I was homeless at the time, I'm sure. And I go, yeah. And we start talking. And she goes, yeah, you remind me of those little jars of jam. Those little tiny ones.
Yes. I like those though.
And I went out with her for I don't know, a couple weeks, and then eventually, she moved on, and I was it actually hurt. That actually hurt me a little bit. I actually really liked her. It was crazy. It was crazy.
You look like a jar.
I'm 5'9". I was with the girl 6'2". Yeah, this girl was her. This girl's dad. This girl's dad slept on on just like wooden planks. I went to their house one time. He didn't sleep in the house. He slept in the backyard in a little shed on wooden planks.
Do you know the story behind that? Like what?
He was just like, you know, he's like a Krishna dude. Just
He
like
was doing
whatever.
Liver
He
King
wasn't
shit
like the
for
Liver
like the-
King. He wasn't all jacked like the Liver King. He did the ancestral tenants. He did 9 of the 10 ancestral tenants.
Oh my god.
I couldn't do anything with her. But man, it's like dating a jungle gym. Fucking crazy. Okay. So we know America's getting fat. Stop it. Stop. Just go work out and move. Just stop. Take someone to a CrossFit gym. Just find someone and take them to a CrossFit gym today. Take them to an affiliate, introduce them to the affiliate owner. Pay for their class. You know what? Here's the deal. Just take someone who's into an affiliate and just be like, Sevan says that your first 3 classes are free. I promise you, all affiliates will. Yeah. Sevan Little Jam Matosi.
Use code Sevan for your first 3 classes at CrossFit Livermore or your nearest CrossFit affiliate.
I had another girlfriend that was actually 6 feet tall who I dated for a long time, for probably over a year. One of those girls, the first girl I told you about was like flat like a board. Like she just had nipples. This other girl that I dated had the biggest boobs you've ever seen in the world. I forgot about that. Homeless then too. I'm telling you, it was yeah.
Well, that's the secret.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I was pretty sure. I was like,
that girl hates me now too. That sucks. That girl hates me. I think I broke her heart. That second girl with the giant boobs, I think she fucking hates my guts now, which really sucks. I really like her.
Like still to this day though.
Still to this day, we have mutual friends. I think she felt like I wasn't honest with her or something.
Did you ever have a Facebook group made about you though?
God, I don't know. I do not go on Facebook or TikTok like maybe once a year on accident if I click a link too fast. Did you have a Facebook group made about you?
Yeah.
Some girl, you hurt some girl, or she got hurt by you and she made a Facebook group?
Crazy.
Was it a whole bunch of girls that were hurt by you and they just commiserated?
Kinda.
Wow.
It was like,
wow.
So this was years back, but it was like right out of high school. And when I first got the job at a restaurant, I worked
Didn't
at
even have Facebook when I was dating this girl, by the way. There wasn't even internet, but go on.
Yeah, this had like just started to get like popular. And I was talking to this one girl that I was like working with, and then I was talking to this other girl who was like friends of like our friend group or whatever. And they both like wanted to be in a relationship and stuff like that. And I was always just kind of like, I was like the cool dude, like, oh yeah, I know, I don't put labels on it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
I feel you.
They were, and I always use the excuse of like, you guys are going off to college because they're going to school, and then fucking they end up being roommates, dude.
Oh my goodness.
They're like,
and they concocted the idea to do a Facebook group on you after that?
I didn't have Facebook I didn't even have Facebook until like a year or 2 after I owned an affiliate. Like I was anti-social media. My social media was CrossFit.com. That was it.
Wow.
And it was just fucking hilarious because they're like, yeah, that there's a Facebook group about you, right? And I was like, no. And they're like, yeah. Showed me, and it was just them being like, this guy's an asshole and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that
funny.
sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a Reddit thread like that every once in a while someone sends to me. It's 150 comments of people telling me that I'm a misogynistic, creepy pedophile. All the craziest shit you could ever.
Dude, 20.
I'm sure it's 20 of my closest friends on there.
I always used to make the joke too, like, because I never really played video games that much. Like, there's still, you hear like even some of the, like these adults that are like, oh, I'm into like gaming, like whatever, that's cool. But I always made the same joke. I was like, what? Video games? I play bitches. I don't play station.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That'll help your reputation.
So, yeah.
310, the court has spoken. It's weird. It's weird that someone, at least your Facebook group, like the people knew you. I don't think any of these people like Sporty Beth, like I don't know her. I think I think I was actually running the media department, and I sent someone out to film with her and celebrate her successes.
That's like
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Okay. You can't prove one valid source saying that the vaccine doesn't greatly reduce your risk of catching and spreading COVID or being hospitalized or dying. This is this guy's response. This guy's a great smile. What a beautiful man.
You can't provide one valid source that says New York Supreme Court decision. The vaccine doesn't prevent transmission, stop you from getting it, or prevent you from ending up in the hospital and dying. Back pay was ordered. I don't know what other information you need. Supreme Court said the jab doesn't work. Regardless of what your doctor tells you, the Supreme Court ordered back pay for thousands of workers. But I know MSM didn't want to tell you that, and I know where you get all your information from is the idiot box that's in your living room. But when you look for things yourself, or when you open up your algorithm and stop listening to people who listen and think exactly the same way you do, that's called an echo chamber. And when you're in an echo chamber, no new facts come in. That's why you leave comments like this, and that's why I have to make you look uninformed and silly.
Well, you still look handsome.
he had great
okay.
skin.
Yeah. Paper Street Coffee. I respect Susan so much more now. Yeah, some texture to the character. The nice man has spilled some female blood.
Jiggy Josh, but you were that guy. No, to be clear, I wasn't a total douche. I was still a good dude. I
wasn't mean to girls, but I wanted a lot of girlfriends.
I'm just, Jiggy, when you're a high value man, such as I was in my spry young 20s, some people are going to be let down. I'm just kidding, by the way.
309, get your booster. Get your booster. I can't wait to get home and get headphones that don't hurt my head.
Now, we know that myocarditis and pericarditis are two heart inflammation conditions well associated with the COVID mRNA injections. Even the Therapeutic Goods Association admits that. Yet, despite this well-established fact, the injections were mandated to thousands of Australians. And speaking out about these incursions on freedom, got one labelled an anti-vaxxer or a peddler of dangerous misinformation. Now, I've obtained data through Freedom of Information from SA Health in South Australia regarding the number of cardiac presentations per month in South Australian public hospitals since 2018. The data reveals that cardiac-related presentations for 15 to 44-year-olds remain steady at 1,100 per month from January 2018, but drastically spiked in July 2021 through November 2021, peaking at 2,172 per month just as these injections were rolled out. They almost doubled. Then there was another spike in February of this year, right around the time when the boosters were being mandated. These injections are harming and in many instances killing our young people. So what does SA Health have to say about this? Nothing. They continue to roll out the injections. They continue to push the injection narrative. This injection campaign is going to go down as the greatest scandal in medical history. None of you said a single thing.
Why would he have to use the Freedom of Information Act to get the numbers? Did you hear that? So basically, he's saying when the injection was rolled out in South Australia, the number of cardiac incidents doubled, and I forget what he said, like 15 to 45 or something. But he had to use the Freedom of Information Act to get that.
Damn.
Oi, 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 oi.
It's not looking good.
Hey, how about this guy? Well, we'll get to it. That I saw that the guy who died over in Qatar.
It was a soccer player, right?
No, he was a reporter. He was a reporter reporting on soccer, and he had a heart attack there. He was like 45 or 47. But I saw recently that he had posted something on Instagram. I think I have a link to it that basically says, "Hey, jackasses, get your vaccine." And then, of course, he ends up dying. He also tried to wear, what the irony is, too, is he also tried to bring a LGBT flag into the stadium, even though they were told not to. Okay, so this is 308. We kind of talked about this already, but I said I know I'm doing a good job when my wife says you're being too hard on the boys. 308.
And boys grow up to be undisciplined men. Do you know the problem you're going to have?
Yes.
Undisciplined men end up in the hospital or in a prison, or they end up in a grave. I got 4 daughters and 3 sons. I have raised my sons entirely different than I raised them girls, because I had to, because it's a different set of expectations on the boys. Now, do I want my girls to be successful? Yes. Do I want them to get equal pay? Yes. Do I want them to be treated fairly? Yes. Do I let men run over them? Ain't no way. I've raised my daughters to be strong, independent, and all of that. All girls got college degrees, but them sons of mine,
self-respecting white men wouldn't be having all
and
bucking
they
naked dog
know, let me have these boys. I ain't over here trying to turn the girls into women, because I don't know how. I know nothing. But I know about these boys, and I know what it takes to be a man, so I got them. Now, my wife has told me, you too hard on them boys. Discipline.
That, by the way, you cropped off the writing, so we couldn't read it. But that was someone who called in. That was going to be that was someone who called in who just started spewing hate.
Yeah, that was a cranker there?
Yeah, that was a
crank call.
You know, I could call you back too, right? Or I could use this. I have this software where I can reverse the call and find out who you are, and then release your name. You know that, right? Like if you call on the show and do shit like that, I could just plug it into the internet, and I have that service where I pay $79 a year, and they find me the names of anyone's. And you know, there's shitloads of people who listen to the show who are also in Secret Service, right? CrossFitters. Don't be stupid. Don't set yourself up for that. I'm not interested in doing that to you, but don't be dumb.
Well, I'm glad it happened then, because I couldn't even really hear anything. It sounded like something, and then I couldn't tell if it was like something else playing on my computer, like what the hell was going on. And then when I started to hear what it was saying, I was like, oh yeah, cut that off. That's something. Fucking caller.
Hey, dude, you better check yourself. There, I hung up on him.
Did you call?
Yeah, he called again. It's always dudes. There's no women who call in and just start screaming racial shit on the phone. Why is it always some guy?
And I always feel like it's the same people that would be on that Reddit thing that would like write stuff bad, you know? Oh, this, that, then comes on here and fucking calls. I want to play a game with you. Okay, guys? You guys ready for the game? I'm going to show you a video.
Yeah, exactly, Jay. You definitely heard a certain word, and he is a turd. 307. I'm going to show you a video, and this game is called Democrat or Republican. I want you to decide. You can write in the comments here. Is this a Democrat or a Republican? You decide. Now, before I'm going to paint this picture for you. It's guys at a band practice, and 2 of them have masks on, and they're sharing a beer. So that's all you're seeing here. So if you could zoom in a little, it's dark. I want you to know, are these Democrats or Republicans?
No sound? Does it need the sound?
No, you can play the sound. Go ahead. Well, you can hear how shitty this band is. I'm like, these guys are wearing
Colorado.
Someone's living. Yeah, it's Colorado. These guys are wearing masks in someone's living room, drinking a fucking beer. First of all, if you wear a mask, you don't get to drink a beer. You don't get to do anything that hurts your health. And then he's sharing the beer with the singer. Do you know where singer's mouth has been?
That's so weird.
Democrat or Republican? You decide what those guys are.
Hey, did I hear this from you? Did you say that the mask was the Democrat MAGA hat?
No, I've heard that before. I don't think that was mine, though.
Okay.
I wish I could take ownership of it.
So true. Is it the same dude again?
Go find something else to do, buddy. Okay. What's interesting about that too is it's consistent with the whole premise of all the premises the Democrats have. There's just no logic. It's just all virtue signaling shit. It's just, hey, I got the mask on. I'm sharing a beer. Like, there's no logic to it, but like, I'm checking all the boxes. Just, you know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah. It was about as smart as you could go into the restaurant, wear your mask, but once you sit down, you could take your mask off.
Yeah.
That was just the
I wear the chaps. I have the spurs. I own a horse. I have a hat. I don't ride the horse, but I'm a cowboy.
You know what's gonna be crazy as
checked
time
all the
goes
boxes.
on, and people are gonna look back at that period, like as it further distance from us, and we're gonna be like, they're gonna be like, how did all those people fall for that? Like, how in the world did anybody go along with that? It was so blatantly like made no sense, and there was no logic to it whatsoever. But yet here we all are, mask on when I go into the restaurant, mask off when I sit down.
The people, I don't think the people who already, like, I know a lot of liberals and they have no idea what's going on because they refuse to look at any outside media. They refuse.
Yeah, so strange.
Hold on, I'm dealing with your mom right now.
Is that really the same, dude?
Yeah.
It's fucking persistent.
I want to let you know that I've changed my mind about something. I was adamantly against men participating in women's sports, but I was so close-minded. 306. My whole perspective has changed. I wasn't looking at the situation clearly, and I want you to know that I've changed my position, and I have found an exception where men should not only participate in women's sports, but they should be encouraged to participate in women's sports. Is this your sister's phone you're using?
Yeah.
Yeah? You switched phones? You tricky little devil? He was just clearing the show.
Yeah, he's gonna say something. I forgot that I used to get super nervous when the phone would ring, and now I'm like, I snap back. I had like PTSD, and when it went off and you answered, I was like, oh, I'm nervous again.
Okay. Action.
I'm okay with trans women competing in women's sporting events, as long as I'm allowed to bet. Yes, I would like to put all my money on the lady with the size 11 sneaker, please. I've got a feeling about her. I'm okay.
There you go. When betting's involved,
that's pretty funny.
You are allowed and encouraged to compete against the women.
Oh my goodness.
305. Whoa. Oh, I wonder if there's a typo. Nuns? Just says nuns. Oh, this is a nasty joke. Listen, if you have kids listening to the show, now is where you send them to the bathroom or something. Have them grab you a beer or something. This one, this is a long joke, and it's long. I could probably go to the bathroom even, but this one is not for children, unless they're boys over 14.
Nuns drives off the edge of a cliff and they all die. But they arrive at the pearly gates and they are greeted by St. Peter. Sisters, welcome to heaven. Now, please line up. I've got to ask you each a single question before I can let you in. So St. Peter turns to the first nun and says, I need to know, have you ever touched a penis? And Sister Margaret coyly responds, well, there was this one time I might have touched one with just the tip of my pinky finger. No problem, Sister Margaret. Go ahead and dip that pinky in this holy water and I'll let you in. And then he turns to the second nun. I need to know, have you ever touched a penis? Well, there was one time I held one in the palm of my hand. No problem. Dip your hand in this holy water and I'll let you in. About this time, there's a ruckus towards the middle of the line, so St. Peter heads back to see what's happening. One nun is trying to cut in front of another nun. Sister Susan, what's the rush? Everybody's going to get in, just wait your turn. And Sister Susan says, well, if I'm going to have to gargle this stuff, I'd rather do it before Sister Mary puts her ass in it. A bus full of nuns drives up.
I'm sorry, the dirtbag over is over. Okay. So now you know, if you're in line to get in, you want to be at the front of the line before the holy water gets tainted.
Someone gets an enema.
304. Oh, you know what I should skip to? I want to skip to this real quick. The other day I talked to you about what the petrodollar is. Petrodollar. And I wasn't sure if I told you guys correctly, but I actually did tell you correctly. And I'm going to tell you guys one more time just so you know, but it's not as bad as I originally said it was, even though it's not good, at least from I researched it further. So I'm going to tell you guys again what the petrodollar is. Henry Kissinger and Richard Nixon I went to Saudi Arabia, or at least Kissinger did, and they made a deal with the Saudis. They said the United States will protect you forever from getting your ass whipped by anyone. Like if the Jews came over and wanted to light you up or something, or the Russians or some shit, we'll protect you as long as everyone you sell oil to, you make them buy with dollar bills, with the dollar. How cool is that? So the Saudis said, awesome. So when you do that, you supercharge our economy. Because now everyone, whether you're China, Finland, fucking Belgium, Australia, South Africa, whatever, if you're buying oil from the Saudis, you got to first buy our dollar. And that supercharges our economy. Recently, and when I say recently, in the last 6 years, China has been in negotiations with Saudi Arabia to allow them to start taking their money. We would like you to take our, I think it's called the yuan or something. I forget what it's called, but whatever they have in China. 26, and then here's just some numbers to contextualize what's going on here. 26% of the oil the Saudis sell every year goes to China. 7% of their oil comes to the United States. Worldwide sales, okay, this is interesting. Worldwide sales total in the oil exchange worldwide for 2022, not just Saudi Arabia, but worldwide, will be $2.2 trillion of oil will be purchased in 2022 in the world. This is to help contextualize why I don't think it's as big of a deal. It's not good that if China gets this deal with Saudi Arabia, because it could be a slippery slope, but it's not as bad as I thought. China buys $8.2 billion worth, okay, $8.2 billion worth of oil a year from Saudi Arabia, 8.2 billion. But now listen to this. 80% of all transactions around the world that involve money involve the US dollar. And I can't even fucking believe this number, at $6.6 trillion a day.
A day?
Yeah, a day. That's basically 8% of the world's economy switches hands every single day. It's some shit like that. And which, I mean, I guess I can kind of believe it. And I come up with that number of 8% because I think there's about $100 trillion almost in circulation. Before the pandemic, I heard there was only 66 trillion. But so this 8.2 billion is like nothing, is what I'm trying to say to you, relative to whatever 80% of 6.6 trillion is, because 80% of all the transactions, not just in oil, but 80% of all transactions around the world are done in the US dollar. So this helps you kind of contextualize it if it's only 8.2 billion. But the problem is this: if China gets that deal with Saudi Arabia, does it turn into a slippery slope? And so we want, I never even knew this. It shows how little I know about the economy. That's got to be the biggest reason why one of our economies are so strong. And by the way, when you put that in perspective to what privilege is, there's no privilege that transcends that. Not the color of your skin, not if you're a man, not if women get paid less than men, nothing. The fact that all of us live in a country where 80% of the transactions happen in our money for the entire planet separates us as a group from the rest of the world like no other. And the fact that anyone could complain about anything while we have that privilege, and I wouldn't use the word privilege, but for the sake of the woke crowd, you're fucking nuts. You are absolutely fucking nuts. And I know it's a lot of numbers, but the big takeaway is that we should be very thankful we live here. We should take advantage of what we have, and we should put our heads down and work hard and be good ambassadors of this leadership role that we have. And we shouldn't fucking ruin it by being social justice warriors. We should either be farmers, innovators, inventors. You should be working hard. And that's the greatest way to make a statement too. Like we started the show with too, that we should not be honoring Brittney Griner. We should be glad she got home, but she's not to be celebrated as a hero. Any mom that competed today in the Legends competition is a fucking hero because she's sending a strong message to her kids. All right. The Petrodollar. Another interesting thing I saw, if you go to 302, I want to show you the reparations task force in the state of California. These people have been appointed by Gavin Newsom to try and figure out how much money should be given to black people. There are some serious concerns about this project because they're scared that some white people might actually qualify.
How are they like? How do you
make
even
that up? Newsweek post an article concerns that white people might get reparations money. It's so fucking amazing. But I want to tell you what's so scary about this. Look at the task force. Look who they are. The task force. So the task force has already assumed that it's the right thing to do, right? That the presupposition is that it's the right thing to do. The task force isn't to find out like, hey, will this actually help black people? By the way, the worst thing you could do to a group of people is give every person in that group $200,000 they didn't earn. I'm telling you, that will be the quickest demise of those people who get that money. Dirtbag, go away. So, but anyway, look at the task force. Look how many white people are on the task force. They got a Japanese guy.
Looks like none.
Yeah. It's crazy. And if you go through, I'll go down to this girl. I went to the girl down in the bottom left. I went to her Instagram, but with the blue and red dress. Her name is Camila Moore. Her Instagram is exactly what you think it would be.
Where does the link take it? Does it take you there? Oh
no. But it's crazy. It's a mix of like bathing suit pictures and Malcolm X shit, which is crazy because Malcolm X would never. This is so far off the beaten path of what Malcolm X would be supporting. Yeah, you would get if you lived in California, you'd get reparations. Hey, and you know what's crazy is what it would do to the fucking economy. So I figured it out. They're talking about giving 500. It's like $569 billion. So to put that into perspective, that's 1/3 of the tax revenue. I think California brings in like 1.7 trillion a year in tax revenue or something like that. But anyway, I looked up how many taxpayers there were in California, and there were 19 million people who had filed tax returns, 19 million. And I divided 19 million into that 589 billion that they wanted for reparations. And that would be every single taxpayer would have to pay $31,000 to someone else because of the color of their skin. And the premise is that those people with that colored skin, their heritage and what was and what was built on the back of their parents and grandparents and great grandparents was taken as free labor and was never given back to them. And if that's the logic, it sure as fuck doesn't seem like $222,000 per person is enough. But I'm going to tell you that this will fucking backfire on us as a civilization. Because once you give those people that money based on the color of their skin, now everything has changed. There's no such thing as like racism. You can't point to it. I could point to a KKK mask. I can point to a swastika. I could point to a man screaming and beating someone, calling them racial slurs. But it's an idea that we put on that behavior. But if you pay people, I'm just trying to tell you how words work and how the human mind works. If you pay this group of people, you will have now entangled the dependence on that existence of racism so fucking tight, and the resentment, it will tear at the fabric of our society. I'm not sure exactly what the solution is, but reparations are not fucking it. You're basically you're really ponying up on making something real that's not real. I know people hate to hear that. There are racist policies. There's things that are written down. I went to meet with the vice president of a major bank in Southern California with my wife. And that vice president told me that they had a policy at the branches in the Glendale area not to lend money to people with the last name of IAN. That's Armenians. I recognize that there's racist policy. But just keep asking yourself, what is racism? Where does it come from? Stop looking out here. Stop looking out here. The answer's not out here.
It'd be hard to sort that out too, right? Like, how do you tell where the family line is now?
Oh, it'll be a giant scam, dude.
Yeah,
the whole thing will be a giant scam.
And none of that money, half that money isn't even going to go where it needs to go. It was
dude,
like
it's all going to end up in rich white people's hands. That's the fucking, at the end of the road.
Yeah.
All of that money ends up back in Jeff Bezos' hands and Bill Gates' hands. It's just a scam to take more money from the people and funnel it to the top. It's how it always works. Look at any of the lotto winners. It all ends up back in Bezos' hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
It ends up being in the hands of people who work. Can I get my money from Turkey? Word. That bus is passed. Okay. Okay, that was good. How are you on time?
I'm all right.
Let's go to 300. This is the reporter who had a heart attack at the World Cup. And prior to him having this heart attack at the World Cup, he wrote on his Twitter, if you're unvaccinated at this point, you're asking to be hospitalized or worse. So he's a huge proponent. He's what we call a pro-drug user. He's an extremist pro-drug user, an extremist in the sense that he believes that kids should be forced to take drugs. Grant Wall, longtime U.S. soccer writer, best known for his work at Sports Illustrated, collapsed during a World Cup match Friday in Qatar. I don't know what the fuck you call it. And later was pronounced dead at the hospital in Qatar. Caller, hi. This is spam. It's from San Francisco.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Fred Herbert.
Hi, Fred.
Oh, we're entertaining this?
It's a bot.
Yeah.
This is Fred.
Okay. It's hard to compete with me. I'm fucking good. If you're going to call, have some shit to tell. Have some shit to tell. It's hard to compete with me. I'm the man. Caller, hi. Spam again.
You know, there's a whole long list of them.
It is. It's just like recordings that are being played when it's answered.
2023, I'm getting back into it, though. The only reason I could hang with the distance... Oh, okay. I thought... Oh, you're running. Okay. Sorry. Next caller. Next caller. Yes, next caller.
One thing I'm not that stoked about, though, is kind of like these comments.
What do they say? They're being mean?
Yeah, it's like literally did not age well. I'd rather be hospitalized than dead. I shouldn't laugh, but I did. Like, I mean, we're still talking, like, just because he was on the, the wrong side of the fence, so to speak, to certain viewpoints, nobody, like, there's no one who's going to die because of that. There's no coming back from that.
I agree.
Like, he's already gone.
But he's an accomplice.
Aren't we all?
He's an accomplice. And hey man, getting behind a drug, to let this be whatever the drug is getting behind a forced injection. It's an extreme position. It is a extreme position. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Victor. I'm not glad the guy died. But I'm also not surprised. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't believe he died.
Yeah.
Jethro, my endocrinologist just told me I'm lucky I haven't died yet since I'm not vaxxed. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, I hope they're right. I hope we're all wrong. That would be best case scenario. No one denies that. No one denies that. At the end of the day, just don't force us who are too scared to take it, or whatever you want to say is the reason. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Just experiment on yourself. You guys believe in it so heavily. Take it and let us watch. Okay, so yeah, and he fit the woke mold. He's also the guy that tried to carry the LGBTQ flag into the
Right.
I mean, he fits the zombie mold. Like he was asleep. He was towing the party line, take the Jews to the Auschwitz in the train. You know what I mean? Whatever the boss says, we do it. I'm just doing my job. Like he was.
Yeah.
He's a company man. So 304, totally common.
We're being referred to as bots these days.
Oh,
I heard a lot of people are like, oh, you're just a bot. You're just a bot. You're just kind of proceeding with your marching orders. Like, I don't know. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Have you ever run a marathon?
I've never ran. No, but I ran when the shutdown first happened, the gym was closed. I ran 4 miles every 4 hours for 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
So it's like covered the distance, but not all at one time.
Wow. That might be even harder.
It was tough.
I don't know what I'm talking about. The most I've ever run, I think, is 10 miles. I've definitely walked 30 miles in a day.
Yeah, the furthest I think I've only ran at one time is like maybe 7 or 8 or something like that. But yeah, that run was broken up over a couple things. The hard part about that was like getting up at those times throughout the, like I ran once at 1 and then I ran again at 5 in the morning. So like you're constantly having to like get yourself up and like play that game in your head. And then I totally screwed up a gig that I would have had with with another firefighter thing at the local college here with their academy, because like we met like via Zoom to like have this talk, and I was like right at the end of it, and it was not going well. I was like brain dead trying to like explain what I do.
David Weed, I only run to the toilet. Will you zoom in on this? So I think what this lady's body just absolutely fascinates me. It looks like it can't even be real. Her skin is so taut. She looks like she's filled with air. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like she's filming a raccoon in the street. Okay, action. I like the music.
You want me to keep it? Okay. Sorry.
She came out of her shoes. Did you see that?
Yeah. Like wearing like flip flops or something.
She wearing a CEO shirt? Hey, I want you to watch one more time and tell me if you can figure out why she fell. I was trying to figure out what she did. Is it her thighs are rubbing together? Is that why she falls?
Okay, let's see here.
She tilts to the left and
okay. I'm trying to see if I can.
I'm wondering if her calf breaks. I wonder if something breaks.
I think she fell because she hasn't ran in a while and she's a bit top heavy. So I think the center line of gravity went. She rolled.
If your midline's going to be off, your center of balance is going to be off like hers. You have to practice running more.
It looks
instead
like
of just break into a full sprint.
It looks like she's running in slides too, so it probably just like slipped off and rolled her ankle and hit the dust.
Yeah, he said Jiggy Josh saying I think she rolled her ankle.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that to me too, but
it's crazy. I wonder that's like probably the fastest she's probably running. She just broke off into a full sprint. The locomotion of watching a body run like that, I like to see that in like crazy slow motion. I don't think that's an uncommon scene, by the way. I bet you that happens every 5 minutes somewhere in the U.S. Someone who's so large goes into a sprint and falls down. It could be a whole show. Bloopers reel.
Goes into a sprint.
This is just a quick one. No surprise here. Navy SEAL is detransitioning. There was a Navy SEAL who did 13 deployments. It's number 303. He when he came back, he wasn't in the right headspace. He became the poster child for transitioning. CNN basically propped him up as like a hero because he wanted to be a man that turns into a woman. And now, after a few years of being a woman, he's like, holy fuck, what did I do to myself? And he's not blaming anyone. He's taking full responsibility as he transitions back to a man. But he is saying, like, he's sounding the siren. Like, hey, there's no escape over there. There's no happiness over there. Like, now I've really destroyed my life. I've really, really, really fucked myself up. No one goes through these transitions who hasn't had trauma. Caller, hi.
Sevan.
What's up, Jeremy?
Jeremy World, what's going on?
What's up, brother?
Hey, when can and Matt, what's up? I didn't want to be like the caller yesterday to say hi to everybody. What's going on?
What's up, brother?
When can I move out there, you guys, and get these reparations?
Anytime, brother. Hey, listen. I'm a little short on cash these days, so you could actually stay at my house for $2,000 a month, and you could join the podcast.
I'm down with all of that. I mean, with the reparations that I'm going to get, I can definitely afford $2,000 a month.
I appreciate you letting it trickle down to the white man. That's very nice of you.
That's awesome. I am super late to this because I had I work for Social Security, and we have all these people that want free money, so I have to take disability claims and all that crap. So I was on I was about to call for the dad stuff talk.
Sure.
And then I had to do an appointment. So I'm a little late to this, but so super fast with my situation growing up. I grew up in like a super religious household, like unhealthy. It was like Little House on the Prairie in modern times. It was nuts. And with that came tons of strict stuff, no dating literally ever, no school, dances, nothing. Like, it was like, go to school, come home. We're going to read the Bible, go to church 3 times a week.
Were you Jehovah's Witness? What were you?
No, it was just, it was Pentecostal Christian.
Okay.
So like the people you see like falling out in the church, like from the Holy Ghost and stuff.
Yeah.
Tongues. It was like that. That was my whole childhood, like watching people in church, like speaking in tongues, falling out. It was pretty wild. And I can have a whole nother conversation about that, but I won't. But with that, like, yeah, all the strictness, all the, all of that came with that. It sucked. I'll be honest. When I look back on it, it sucked. And when I got 18, I did my own thing and, made decisions that weren't the greatest, but it was kind of like trying to make up for all that time. But my point with all of it is my relationship with my dad, my brothers, and our relationship sucked. He was just this authority figure who was completely disassociated with reality, in the world and the effect that this stuff can have on people. And, it was terrible. I mean, he even admitted as when we became adults, he was verbally and physically abusive. So like when we got bigger than him, he asked us not to retaliate on him. I'm not even making that up. Yeah. He straight up asked us not to retaliate on him.
Wow.
But then finally I'm 37 now. So I was probably like mid 21, 22, kind of getting my shit together. And he apologized. He basically apologized. Wow. And it was a little bit easier to forgive him. But I could say one good thing that came out of it is instead of getting caught up in a lot of trouble, you see Milwaukee, like it's not good. Instead of getting in a lot of trouble, it did motivate me to make better decisions. Joined the military, served in the military, and then got married, had 3 kids, and I would say, because I always try to pull the good out of everything, and if I could say one good thing is this, it kind of motivated me to like make good decisions and also not do to my kids what he did to us.
How is he as a grandfather?
It's just wild too. Like, first of all, picture my dad's from down south Georgia. He's like purple black. He's so dark. So he's like an intimidating guy. Now he is a absolute cupcake. I think someone else called in earlier and was in the comments talking about it. Yeah, I mean, if I even raise my voice to my kids, he's telling me to calm down and
my
chill
dad's
out.
the
And I'm
greatest
like,
granddad who ever lived too. Isn't that fascinating?
it
My
is
dad
incredible
an
how that
insane
works.
grandfather. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they're trying to make up? I mean, not my dad didn't do anything bad to me. He's just, my dad was just a workaholic. He was actually fucking amazing to me. But
I 100% think my dad is trying to make up because, like I said, he's not a guy to like apologize or admit when he's wrong or anything ever. And for him to even admit that, you know, much later in life, you know, I think he's, you know, 60 something years old now, and he's not in the greatest of health, type 2 diabetic. He doesn't listen to a damn word I tell him about CrossFit and fitness and health. So I think like the writing's on the wall. He realizes he effed up and like real bad. And there's also so many effects with my brothers and sisters. My younger brother, like 34, still lives in their basement. My oldest sister, 42, she just had her third kid out of wedlock. 42 years old, third kid with guys we don't even know who they are. My older brother's kind of all jacked up. Like he sees that he effed up and set us on a bad trajectory. And I was like the only one out of 4 kids to get my shit together. And yeah, it's pretty wild. It's a wild story. But
where's your dad? Is your dad born in the country?
Yeah, he's from Warner Robins, Georgia. It's by Atlanta.
And where are his parents from? Do you know?
Well, he had a really rough upbringing too. His
can you see your screen? Can you see your screen? Is your dad this black?
Well, I got it on pause.
Oh, all right. Fuck it.
Oh no, I do see that. Yeah.
Is he that black?
He's like, if he's standing by a black wall, you'll only see his teeth and shirt and clothes. That's it.
God, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's. I mean, going down to visit his family when we were kids, it was wild. Like his grandmother, dark as I couldn't even. We were like scared to say hi to her. It was like
God,
wild, man.
It is. It's so amazing how far we are from that now in the United States, and yet we're still hung up on color.
I know.
It's so fucking crazy. I wonder how many. I would love to see a DNA test on that lady. Like to see what she is.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Like what her, yeah. And her hand, wow. Well, that's interesting about the whole religious thing. That shit will. Man, if you got crazy religious parents, you want them to like be 20 years into the religion. I wonder how long. You don't want them to like to. The worst kind of person is someone is like they just found God like an hour ago. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like that shit's like hard to be. That shit's hard to be around. It's like being around a CrossFitter who just found CrossFit. Like
seriously, you can't talk about anything.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like you got to chill. Come to I wonder how soon your dad became a Pentecostal. Were his parents Pentecostal?
No, man, his parents were drunks. They gave him up. He was raised by his grandparents in like the same town as them. But then he moved up here to Milwaukee, met my mom, and they got in some trouble in high school. They had kids. They had my sister at 18. They were really young, and it was right after having my sister, my mom started going to this Pentecostal church, and my dad followed her, and then they drank the Kool-Aid, to say the least. And it wasn't until, like I said, later in life that they kind of were like, all right, we were a little too crazy, too fanatic. And like you said, like a person that just finds religion or CrossFit, that's it. You know, there's nothing else in their life. And yeah.
I'm not saying that there's not worse people, but part about preaching good to people is a lot of time you end up teaching them about bad. So you really want to fuck up a 6-year-old boy, start explaining to him at a young age that he shouldn't masturbate.
Oh my God.
And that shit, and let me tell you something, you will fuck a kid up. Like that's too early.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's what I mean. Like you gotta like, you're so excited because you just found God. And if you start preaching that shit too early to a fucking kid and in the wrong way, every time you say no to a child, it's the same as saying yes. And you're really fucking with a kid. Sorry, go ahead.
I
Jeremy.
totally agree. I really think that like some of the most messed up people out there are the people that had my type of an upbringing where it was just God in your face. Just and I have friends like that still deal with it, and they're not healthy people. I'll just say that mentally they are effed up. You say it really well when you say the Bible it's not meant to be pointed at others. It's meant to be pointed at you. And, good things can happen if you do that. But if you like my parents or all these people, they point at everybody else. Yeah, that's how you drive people away. Or if they're your kids, you just F them up and drive them away at the same time.
Well, thank you. Always good to hear your voice.
Yeah. I love calling
when you get in, let me know about the reparations and moving in. I'll clean up the office where the podcast is. You have to pee outside, but my kids pee outside too.
You get to sleep on that couch that's there that everybody sees.
Yeah.
I get to sleep on Rosemary's couch. That's a good day.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, brother. Later.
Later, man. Thanks.
Later. See you, man.
Jeremy, the Pentecostal, calling in. So this Navy SEAL basically 13 deployments. If you scroll down a little bit, I'll read some of this. But basically, he's saying, hey, it's exactly what we've talked about this show a ton of times. I needed help. And instead of getting help when I was saying crazy shit, people catered me down the alley of more crazy shit. So like he's flipping out about his identity. And instead of someone helping him work on it and solve it himself, they started making external changes to him. And they started telling him that he was fucking transgender. And they started, God, it's the closest thing I can think of to fucking, if I were to define evil. A retired Navy SEAL who became famous nearly 10 years ago after coming out as transgender announced he is detransitioning, meaning he's switching back to becoming a man, and called Americans to wake up about how transgender health services are hurting children. Everything you see on CNN with my face, do not even believe a word of it, Chris Beck, formerly known as Kristen Beck, told conservative influencer Robbie Starbuck in an interview published earlier this month. Everything that happened to me, can you imagine being called a conservative influencer? Fuck, I would hate that title. Everything that happened to me for the last 10 years destroyed my life. I destroyed my life. I'm not a victim. I did this to myself, but I had help. I take full responsibility. I went on CNN and everything else, and that's why I'm here right now. I'm trying to correct that. And you know exactly what happened. Listen, I unfortunately have so many friends who've done this too. It's such a delicate job dealing with people's brains. You don't have to react. When your boy says, hey, I want to be Elsa for Christmas, you don't have to say anything. When your daughter says, hey, I want to be a boy, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to remember it. You can just take a deep breath. I was Steve Austin, the $6 million man, every single day in the second grade at lunchtime. And when I ran, I made that sound. And I would run in slow motion with my buddy Chad Cola. And you know what? If someone would have said to me, hey, Sevan, we're going to cut you open and turn you into the $6 million man. Do you know what I would have said? Fuck yeah, let's do it. Do you get it? Do you get it? A guy was deployed 13 times. You want to know how fucked up someone is who's deployed 13 times? Read Craig Harrison's book, The Longest Shot. He'll be a guest on this show soon.
I'm not super familiar with this story, but did this person transition after the military?
Yeah. I don't know the exact details, but the way I'm perceiving the story is that 13 deployments, came back, fucked up, scrambled mess. It was like, I can't get in touch with my feminine side or some shit, right? Said some shit like that. People are like, oh my God. And then he went to some shrinks and they fucking talked him down the avenue that he's really a woman and he's strong and he can make this change and will stand by your side. And they started transition surgery on him.
Wow.
That's what they treat. That's exactly what's happening to our kids. It's not lost on me that in a different reality, a dress could be the most masculine piece of clothing that exists. I know it's all fabricated, made up. What I'm saying is you want to make, you have to go poop? What? You're hungry? Oh, where's mom? Is mom home? Okay, do you want a hug? You think you're going to throw up? There's no parent here? There's no parental figure in the house? How old are you? You're 6. Come let me look at you.
I'll make that peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, I did that shit too. I wore my mom's heels around the house. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I was having this.
No one thought I was gay either except Uncle Buck. No, I'm joking.
I was having the transgender discussion yesterday with my mother-in-law, actually, because she had her book club read a book. I don't know which one it was. I wish I knew, but it was a story about his life as a boy, then transitioning to a girl, and kind of like just whatever, a story. And we were just having an open discussion about it. And I said, yeah, at some point, where does that end though? And like, is there a balance between kind of buying into something like that and kind of feeding into it? Or are you giving them the right help that these people actually need? And she kept going, well, you don't know, because he went to this all boys school and they beat the shit out of him. And
Wow.
was really kind of stuck on that. And I was like, yeah, well, it's easy to be, sympathetic for somebody. That's not what I'm asking. Are you calling Haley?
Yeah, I tried to.
And she was telling me more about it. Then she goes, yeah. And then, the mom was always being supportive of it and said, hey, you could do this at the house, but people are going to judge you if you do it outside. And then he started to do it outside. And then she got the doctor. Technical difficulties.
I recognize who was calling, and it was coming in on the studio phone. But I can't imagine this person calling the studio phone.
Person, if you meant to call the studio phone, call again.
If they were meant to call the studio phone, I would definitely answer. I just don't think this person meant to call it.
Well, maybe they'll call again if they're watching it. Then we'll know.
Go help him, Sevi. Souza can handle the show.
Oh fuck no, dude. Well, thanks, Heidi. I guess you got your. Guess that got answered. I don't even know where to go with this. So, anyways, I'll finish telling you guys the story. And she kept talking about the sympathetic, like being sympathetic towards this person, and I was all about the sympathetic part. But then when she goes, then the doctors got involved, so we got him on puberty blockers. I stopped and I said, well, isn't that interesting? Because, you could go on puberty blockers before you're 18. After you're 18, do whatever the hell you want, right? I got no problem with it. But while your kid is like, it's like, if you go on the puberty blockers, that shit's permanent. And so there's a reason why you can't get a tattoo until you're 18, because you're not developed to make those decisions yet. So at some point you have to ask yourselves, like, hey, are we just participating too much in this? Do we just need to give it some time to see if how this person will react into the future? And then if you're also participating into it too, and then bringing medical stuff into it, I don't know. I feel that you're really kind of guiding them down the path rather than just giving them the space to kind of go through whatever it is they're going through. Then after 18 and they're an adult and they want to decide to go down that and complete that, then go for it. And you're an adult, you do whatever you want with your body now.
Yeah.
That was a good learning experience for me. I just kept going with my story that I was partly telling you and just kept it going with them.
A good learning experience to be on the show by yourself, or to tell, or the actual story that you told?
To be here by myself and to keep talking and try not to let the 40 viewers that dropped off when you left discourage me.
This is $2.99. This is applying for a job that you don't have the credentials for. This reminded me of the CrossFit marketing team. the people who work on the media team at CrossFit Inc. This reminded me of them. After what we said yesterday, never forget the woman who got arrested for. Oh yeah, so this is a lady. How would you be arrested for this? This lady on the left here doing the sign language. They're saying that she's faking it, that she's not really doing sign language. It's pretty fucking funny. I don't know why you'd fucking go to jail for that. I can't hear you, Susan. You muted yourself.
Didn't that happen with Obama too?
Did
and
it?
There was that. Yes, I think it did. I'll search it when we play this here, but I'm pretty sure that then all of Secret Service and shit freaked out because they were like, "How did this person get this close to the president, make it through all of this?" And he was just like pretending to like sign the whole entire time.
Yeah, so
I'm pretty sure that was it.
This is This is like the marketing team. This is like who's running media over at CrossFit. It's just like a It's a scam. But this basically, I don't agree that she should have been arrested. If I fucking apply for a job doing sign language and on my first day I'm just like, fucking, I only know one word. I have a limited vocabulary.
It's on the job training.
Yeah,
Come
what
on,
am I
give
like
me
this the whole time.
Give me a learning curve here.
Okay, go ahead and hit play. It's so awesome. I mean, she at one point she just does this with her hands. It's so fucking awesome. If you can zoom in on her a little, it's so great.
To the side, apparently translating every word, this woman.
We received over 5,000 tips in this case.
But it turns out much of what she was signing was nonsense. She waved her arms around like she was singing Jingle Bells, says one outraged sign language expert. The woman, identified as Derlin Roberts, has a string of arrests for fraud. So how did she come to be translating at last week's high-profile police news conference?
I just didn't ask enough questions.
Tampa Police Public Information Officer.
Dear Don Fall, do you want me to interview your entire media team and marketing team for you? I will do it free of fucking charge, and I promise you I will ask enough questions.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Question number 1, is CrossFit for white people, black people, or C? I know this one's out there. Everyone. Do 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 do. Hey, what would the charges be that you applied for a fucking signing job?
You lied on your resume.
I bet you half the people working. And hey, I want to say this too as a default. I'm projecting onto CrossFit. I know CrossFit doesn't have a media team anymore. They've shifted it and called it a marketing team. And so by that, I'm kind of being disingenuous and it's a misnomer. Because basically, and I'm struggling to accept this, we used to have 4 departments there. We used to actually be a media company. That's what Greg would tell us. But now they've lost their way and
I was told that at an L1.
Yeah, everyone knew it. It was what we did, and now the focus is on training, affiliate, and games. Those are the 3 departments they have, and so they're basically going to outsource all their shit. You cannot outsource CrossFit. It's like outsourcing Christianity to fucking Satan worshipers. Like you just cannot do it. You cannot outsource what this thing is. They'll start doing stupid shit like woke shit, like using rainbow colored jump ropes or like trying to like appeal to like people for the wrong reason. This is we're selling personal accountability and responsibility. I work there still. I'm so fucking delusional. So lost.
Hey, I'm participating in it.
Anyway, but I bet you half the people there couldn't fucking edit with fucking Adobe or Final Cut Pro or like they even. I bet you half the people there have no creative skills. They cannot create any space in their mind to pull down creativity. I know it for a fact. I know that the person who runs the company probably doesn't have a creative bone. Not the company. The department probably doesn't have a creative bone in their body, which isn't a bad thing. Unless you're running that department. Would you hire me to run the track and field department at UCLA?
I'd have to ask some questions first.
Yeah. They exist already, buddy. The rainbow rope exists already. Fucking knuckleheads. Okay, so that lady didn't have the credentials for the job, and when I saw that, I was like, so what?
That's all right. Either did this dude.
So what? Oh, that's him?
That was the guy. Yeah.
I would love for Sevan to run the track and field department. You know what I would do? This is how stupid I am. I wouldn't choose people using a fucking stopwatch. I would just pick the people with the longest legs. Because that's all, because I don't know. And I shouldn't even go here because I shouldn't give people the ammunition. Okay, 296. Do you want to see Heidi's doppelganger?
Oh, we're going for it?
Yeah.
I
Here,
thought we're just gonna
the
leave
thing
her in
is,
suspense.
the thing is, when you show this, you have to pause it right away because it's only for that 1 split second.
Okay.
You know, it's
Hold
like
on.
the
It's right
caption
at the
one.
beginning, right?
Yeah, it's right at the beginning. You can
Yeah.
even pull it up and like fuck with it on the side if you want and get it lined up.
I'm doing it right now. I'm just gotta
Okay.
let this thing play through for a second, and I'm gonna try to hit it right at the right time on this next one.
It's remarkable. Oh yeah, fuck, it's quick.
Yeah,
It's quick. It's quick.
I think I got it. It's close, but it's not like the perfect angle.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to do it too.
Okay, see if you get a.
How long? Oh, how long does it play?
A while.
Oh, darn it! Oh,
And you missed it? Did you miss it?
I'm so close. You do yours, and I'll see. And if it's no good, I'll do mine. Did you get it right at the beginning? Let's see.
Kinda.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Oakley Reels. Heidi's doppelganger. There you go, people. Everyone will be exposed. Oh Lord, what am I doing? Oakley Reels. There she is. Sevan, check your DMs. Did you send me Haley Adams? Someone sent me Haley Adams. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I'm sorry, Alan.
On her, she looks like Haley Adams.
No, a different one. I think Alan sent me a Haley Adams. And a doppelganger, and I didn't see it.
Oh.
Anyway, there you go. Oakley Reels. We've now found Heidi Kroom's doppelganger. And I'm glad we got to that. I wasn't sure if we were going to get to that today. Okay, 296. Chop it off the list.
Doppelbanger.
Yeah, she is a that is a doppelbanger. You're right, Trish. Scumbag. Trish, you piece of shit. Hate it when you're right.
Heidi doesn't see it. Nobody ever does.
I don't see it.
Whoever it is. It's
The fuck you don't. Just keep playing that video over and over. Freeze it right at the beginning. It's so you.
Yeah, if you just watch that beginning portion, you want to see something funny. Did I tell you this? That when I used to bartend, I used to get told all the time that I looked like
Steve-O?
And Ben Stiller, but Robbie Benson. Do you know
I've
who
gotten
Robbie
Ben
Benson
Stiller
is?
before. No, I've gotten Ben Stiller and I get Steven Spielberg. That's kind
Look
of
at this. Well, now
kind
that
of
my
hurts
hair
feelings.
is like longer too now. This is who I always got told I gotta look like.
I don't recognize that guy.
Maybe I
Who
should
is he?
throw it out.
Is he
till it
famous?
Looks like this.
Oh, yes. That's you. Yes. Hey, dude, you've got to grow your hair out like that. There's so much material there if you do that. You just rip on you nonstop. That is look
It's
at
all,
that
like, matted
hair.
down now, though.
Is that how your shit would grow? Just a thick helmet?
Yep.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
you should try that. That's intense.
Now it's just all over the place because I just threw the beanie on in the morning, especially after I got out of the shower. But yeah, it gets super.
You could have an insane mohawk.
Super thick. That's funny that you mentioned that because I'm for sure cutting one when I cut it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, mohawk would be dope.
Oh, look at this number going on here.
You could even like do a pretty wide one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's Steve-O, but that doesn't look like he's has I don't know, AIDS or something.
Far less whippets in my life.
Yeah, something.
It's like there's something about Mary hair stick up action here.
Okay, I'd like to can we get through two more, you think? 298 and 297?
Yeah.
Okay, fathers and mothers. The show started with a tribute to mothers today.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
298. Sorry, I'm just going up.
I think we did this one.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then the chick right away is like, "Don't put that on women."
Okay. Good. Okay. Oh, a long time ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me. 297. Griner or Whelan? Oh, I think this might be. Like I said, Griner has. ESPN reported that Brittney Griner is going to focus on helping getting Whelan out. That's going to be one of the charities she works towards. Yeah, his hair is great. You can't have. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is fascinating. Okay, listen to this. This is. I don't know if what he's saying is true. Well, what he's saying is true. I don't know if the implications of it are true. But either way, it's worth hearing.
Today, Andrea Mitchell of NBC. This is someone who's been in Washington covering news for more than 50 years, someone who is deeply supportive of the Joe Biden administration, contributed to a story that contained this line, quote, "The Kremlin gave the White House the choice of either Griner or Whelan, or none." So Mitchell's piece attributed this fact to a, quote, senior U.S. official. It was not a guess. It was sourced. And then, as with the early reporting on Paul Pelosi last month, that account was scrubbed and sanitized. And the new version of the NBC story assures us that, quote, "The Kremlin ultimately gave the White House the choice of either Griner or no."
So basically, and the Russians have already reported this. It's come out of Russia that they gave us a choice. You can have Whelan or Griner, and they chose Griner. So do you pick a young woman who has a long life ahead of her, who got busted for drugs in a foreign country, broke the law in a foreign country?
Was that on accident that she took that vape pen too? Was it like just in her stuff or something like that? And she realized that's what it was, right? One of those little like
I can only tell you that she looks like she smokes weed.
Weed pen.
Based on my prejudice, discrimination, and judgment of her age and hairstyle and demeanor. She looks like a stoner to me.
So you're saying it's not?
Bro, I'm telling you, listen to me. If Trump gets elected, I guarantee you they let Whelan out on day one. Guaranteed. I don't know if you remember but probably most of you don't remember the Iran hostage crisis we had. But the way the story went is Reagan was running against Carter. Ronald Reagan was running against Jimmy Carter. And the day that Reagan took office, they let out the hostages. The same day.
I knew he wasn't fucking around.
Well, also, during the Carter administration, Bush Sr., who later became president of the United States, was head of the CIA, and he made a deal with the Iranians. Don't let the hostages out until Reagan's elected, because he didn't want Carter to get the love for it.
Kudos for it.
Yeah. So,
interesting.
But I guarantee you Trump just calls Putin, is like, yo, let that dude out. Putin's like, yeah, right on. See you next week in Vegas. Yeah, cool. Guarantee it. Putin loves Trump. He's entertained by him. He loves it.
I don't know. That makes me just as much as like uncomfortable as the other side of it.
Trump had the chance to get him out, says David Weed. That's Russian disinformation. Maybe. I'm open to it. Oh, it was a CBD pen? Seriously? It wasn't even THC? What'd she get busted for?
Yeah, that's kind of.
Well, that's bullshit. That changes my mind about everything.
Welcome home, Griner.
I'm glad she's home. I'm glad. I feel for her parents. I'm glad for her parents more than her. You hear that they were saying that she was in a labor camp where they were sewing I think military uniforms or something. They were sewing some sort of uniforms, and she was too big to fit in the chair where the sewing machine was, and her hands were too big to work like the mechanisms of the machine. So instead, they gave her the job of carrying fabric. So that was what she was. She was kind of like just a pack mule.
Wasn't that one kid that is? I think he's still in North Korea, right? Didn't he go to like North Korea or something? Tried to steal a poster, and ended up with like 70 years in a hard labor camp or something.
Fuck, and he's still there?
Yeah.
Libby Budak. Bodak. Libby Bodak. It's a nice last name. It's close to that word that I'm not allowed to say. They said it was hashish oil. Not sure which molecule that is. The hashish is definitely not CBD.
Oh, the dude from North Korea is.
No, he's dead. Trump fumbled that one. No, Trump got that guy out. I'm going with Libby.
We like Libby's answer better.
I'll pay my own. Budak.
I thought that kid from North Korea came back.
Budak.
Brain dead.
Libby Budak.
Yeah, I don't know much about the story from North Korea. I just remember that being a thing.
Wow, Brittney Griner does kind of look like an elf. You're right.
Oh, at first I thought I was gonna turn around and be like, "Is there one on my shelf?" I want to be surprised.
I
The
kinda see
snowflake
that.
made an appearance as part of the.
Otto Warmbier. They got him out, but he had extensive brain damage. He died immediately. Oh, that's right. That's right. I do remember that.
Remember, didn't he steal, like, wasn't it a poster? Did he try to, like, take it off the wall and, like, roll it up and take it home or something like that?
Yeah. What? Yeah, that's right.
I
Fuck,
can't
that was
remember,
crazy.
like, the details around it, but yeah. I mean, just nuts. Like, you just don't fuck around. Like, we don't realize how much, like, in the U.S. we actually get away with. You know what I mean? In terms of, like, what we could do and the justice
Dude, you
system.
can shoot heroin on the streets of fucking Philadelphia. No one will say anything to you.
San Francisco. Yeah, good
saw
point.
the video. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you go to other
Not
countries.
one person, not two people, hundreds of people just laying around, needles hanging out of them and shit.
Yeah, try to act that way, and they.
If you want to see that stuff, we had the guy on the show that made those documentaries. His name's Tommy G. His YouTube channel's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Should definitely check in with him again soon too. He's a good dude.
295.5. This is a pretty trippy story. This is Chris Christie's niece was on an airplane. She must be crazy. It must be a oh shit, we've hit the algorithm. We're crushing it. Chris Christie's niece was on an airplane, and there was they said it's a Latino family. I think that means Mexican or something, or Brazilian, or just anything south of San Diego is Latino, I think. And she was on the airplane, and I want to read the exact quote. Will you scroll down? She said something crazy to them. I mean, it's funny, but it's also a little crazy. A woman who claimed to be related to former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie injured 6 deputies after she was kicked off of the Spirit Airlines flight on Thanksgiving Day, according to authorities. Shannon Epstein, 25, was asked to leave the New Jersey-bound flight at Louis Armstrong International Airport in New Orleans in the morning of November 24th. Here it is, you guys ready? After she asked the family seated next to her, who she believed were Latino, if they were smuggling cocaine.
What?
Hey, dude, you can't go to jail for that. You can't go to jail for that. What if there's a black guy sitting next to me and I'm like, yo, were your grandparents slaves? Or what if there were some Jews sitting next to me? I said, yo, you know anyone, you got anyone related to you who died in Auschwitz?
It can't just be that, though, right? Like, she clearly had to, like, act up, and she ended up being, like, super defiant, like, hurt 6 deputies or injured them or something like that. Like,
so some guy sits down next to me in the plane. He's like, yo, is that your real nose, or is that attached to your glasses? I mean, you don't get kicked off the flight for that.
I mean, you're an asshole, but yeah, they're not gonna
you're an
escort
asshole.
you out. They're just like,
I know,
okay.
isn't that crazy too? Epstein. I know, it's a fucking Epstein.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, so the article basically is like speculating in some portions. It's saying she claimed to be Chris Christie's niece, and so, but I dug around in it, and it's actually been confirmed. It actually was. And when they went to arrest her and pull her off the plane, I guess she started screaming some shit. You can't do this to me. I'm Chris Christie's niece.
Yeah. Trying to see if there's like more on it, but plus too, you can't like fuck around on an airplane like that either.
Yeah, exactly, Adam. What if they were smuggling cocaine? What if they were? Red's a good fucking great point.
Yeah, maybe.
Excuse me, do you have a penis in your pants? What if she would have said that to the dude? Are you smuggling some cock and balls on the plane?
That'd be the weirdest encounter. You've flown a lot. Did you ever have any weird encounters with people that you sat next to you?
Bro.
Really?
One time,
Let's get
I was landing in Chicago O'Hare, and I was in the. It was in the old days when I used to fly coach, and I was in the. I was in the emergency door lane.
Yep.
And the plane is we've all gone through the landing protocol. Everyone's got their seatbelts on, seat upright. And there's a phone there, and the 3 stewardesses are there, and their jump seats are there. They're not up in the front. They're in the middle of the plane. It's a huge fucking plane. I can't remember what kind of plane. And she picks up the phone, and I hear her fighting with the fucking pilot. She's fighting with the fucking pilot. They're yelling at each other. I can't hear what they're saying because the plane's so fucking loud because it's doing all that shit right before it lands, you know? And she fucking puts the phone down. The 3 stewardesses look at each other. They get in their jump seats and they close their eyes and hold hands.
Oh, what the fuck?
I'm just like... And the plane landed and she stormed to the fucking front of the plane.
That would be terrifying. Ever since I told you about my like non-enjoyment of flying, I'd learned more about planes. I took it upon myself to learn and watch some stuff, and it's pretty interesting all like the different protocols they go through. But that would have me very.
Oh, bro,
nervous.
I was just like I was tripping balls.
Were they close enough for you to ask them? Or did you just not even want to know? Were you just like, fuck it, I'm better not knowing?
It was really loud. She was vibing so hard. You know when someone's just fucking, she was off her rocker.
Yeah.
But the fact that all 3 of them held their hands and closed their eyes, I was like, this is fucking horrible.
Yeah. They're in like a group prayer as the plane's going down.
Yeah, my asshole tightened for sure. Or it released. I can't remember. It did one of the 2. Man, oh man. I've barfed. I barfed my one flight coming back from Africa one time. I was just vomiting my fucking brains out, and the person sitting next to me got moved, and I was like pouring sweat, and I was just puking. I guess I had food poisoning, and there were 4 kids flying alone in front of me, and they were leaning over the seats, and they would go every time I throw up. They'd lean over seats and look at me and go. Ugh, ugh.
Wait, really? What fucking assholes.
I actually liked it. Just 4 kids making fun of me. And by the time I landed, my water broke. I was good. You know what I mean? Like I was completely drenched.
Yeah, like just sweated the whole thing out.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I was actually pretty I can't remember, some guy in customs said something funny to me, like, you handled those kids well. They kind of were keeping me company. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though I was probably like a 30-year-old man, I was probably still scared by myself, fucking dying on an airplane. Like, at least these kids can tell my mom they saw me.
Gosh, that's a miserable flight.
Okay. Tomorrow, do we have a show tomorrow? Another live call-in show? We're just on a roll with live call-in shows. I'm loving it. Oh, no.
That was basically the ramp up until you take off from Newport. But
oh, did you see I started making thumbnails?
Yeah, I did. They're awesome.
So last night this is how silly we are. Me and Andrew Hiller and Sousa got on StreamYard. We don't air it, but we all got on StreamYard, and we just hung out. And Sousa was just set his phone up, and he was cleaning his gym after the Christmas party, and we were all just talking. We were watching Sousa like climb the rope to get the lights down, and we were just brainstorming ideas for future shows. And Hiller's like, "Hey, do you want me to show you how to make thumbnails?" And so last night for an hour, Hiller just took me through the software called Canva, the app. And he just taught me how to make thumbnails. It was so fucking sweet of him. It was so cool. It was like, I felt like my little kids when they play with crayons.
Yeah, that was
like,
cool.
no, do this. No, do this. He's so playful. He's fucking playful.
Yeah. And he has a good time with it too. Like cracking up the whole time. And like, that was nice. That was actually a really nice surprise just to be able to clean the gym and
have us
like-
hang out with you. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we got to watch Souza do his what's that machine called? Look, Canva's the
like
best, Canva's
Zamboni.
the worst. What's it called? The Zamboni. We got to look at his dude Zamboni. That was cool.
It's funny.
All right, guys. So tomorrow morning we'll be on a live call-in show at 7 a.m. And then at 9 a.m. I'm doing a show with Eddie If on his podcast. And I think that's called the Wadcast Podcast. And I'm excited for that. I don't know if he goes live. If he does go live, I will post something and let you guys know. Why? So, okay. I guess I'll hear from Kenneth about why you think it's the worst. I really enjoyed it. I have Photoshop. I use Photoshop. I'm just not good at it. Hiller's like, why don't you just use Photoshop? I'm like, just because I'm not good. Okay. $19.99. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.